Yes, everybody, and welcome to High on Homegrown, the cannabis podcast from Percy'sGrowroom.com. I am Macky from the UK, and joining us this week, we have Margaret, Dr. Margaret.
Thank you. Thank you for that lovely introduction, Macky. I am Dr. Margaret from Central Ontario, Canada, host of Bite Me the Show about edibles, enjoying a sunny, cold day here.
Beautiful, beautiful. We also have Smee.
Evening, everybody. West Korea, nice and sunny, nice and warm. Been good today. Been very good.
Nice. It's interesting. We also have Billy.
Yay. Keep it moist. That's all I've got to
Brilliant.
say.
Brilliant. Straight in.
Yeah, well,
we don't have John. Brilliant. Fuck you know. We also we don't have John. He's still doing the cheerleading this week and next week, but he should be back the following week, everybody. But yeah, here we are to do the cannabis news and events and the grow guides. We're going to talk about 4 news stories we have this week, and in the grow guides we're discussing the evolution of Autoflowers, how they came along, what the old school ones are, the first ones, and then some in the middle, and then the new age good shit that we have nowadays that we would highly recommend that you grow. So that's what we're covering today. There we go. Nice, smooth intro, done within a minute. Look at that.
Incredible. That was very professional.
Wow. That was so good.
Because the American's not here.
That's right.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, look, there
John,
you go.
John,
Yeah.
He's there somewhere. He's in the background in spirit. Yeah, he said
In his
they're not.
budgie smugglers,
He
in
said
spirit.
he's not doing too well with the whole netball thing either. He's been throwing his hat and shouting a lot today. Oh, the volleyball. He's not netball. Did I say netball? I think I said netball.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you
When it's
might have.
volleyball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well, I was
He's
incorrect.
getting fired up, is he?
Yeah, and hangry as well. He said he hadn't eaten, so he's also hangry, and the team lost, so he's just getting wound up. What can you do? Just one more week left, John, and then you're free.
Yeah, and you don't have to watch
cheerleaders were
girls
meant to
play
just
with balls.
dance. Like,
Yeah, he does all the backflips and stuff.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Do you, like, is he the top of the triangle pyramid thing? Like, any
Definitely.
backflips off of that? Like,
definitely.
yeah. I can
Seems to
imagine
be that
him doing
agile kind of guy.
Yeah. I know.
You know what I mean? But anyway, what are we smoking on this week? Margaret, do you have something nice this week?
Yeah, I got a little pink kush in my vape, but I also have
Okay.
a cannabis-infused beverage at my side as well that I'm
Oh, yeah.
enjoying.
Delicious. Nice.
Yes.
I like that. What you got, Smee?
Connoisseur.
Selection of edibles again, and I've got some strawberry lemonade in the Mighty.
Very
With a
nice.
little bit of hash
Nice.
just to top it off.
Beautiful. Beautiful. What you got,
Yes.
Billy?
I've got some sort of like flowery lemon stuff, which I got some from someone, so that was all right. Got
Okay.
given it, so it's all good. And a little bit of hash I got given too as well. So yeah.
Nice.
Nice. I got
Smoking
hash in
that.
the Mighty as well with some pineapple
Nice.
chunk, I think. Mix that shit up
Hash all
together.
round.
Yeah, hash for it. Everybody got some hash today. Did you say you had hash, Margaret?
I don't have hash out, but I do have hash, yes.
You should go grab a
you
little
should go
piece
get
of
it
that.
out. Yeah, go
Come
on. Then
on.
we can all hash it up.
Come on.
Join us in the
Right.
hash, but not Minecraft.
It's
you know what I'm
4:20
saying?
tomorrow, so you should really
Yes,
start
yeah.
early. Know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah, I think that's true, Macky. I think she should. She's a doctor after all.
It's 4:20 in
That's true.
Australia.
That's right. It's 4:20 in Australia, and when this episode goes out tomorrow, then it
New
will be
Zealand.
4:20 as well. So I hope everybody's enjoying their 420 celebrations, and don't forget to
Oh,
head over
yeah.
to Percy'sGrowroom.com and get involved in some of the giveaways that we have going on over there. And also to mention, while we have the smoke break, we'll be doing a couple of spins over there as well. We got some names over on Discord and over on the forum to give away some lemon tree from Barney's Farm. So going to be doing those wheel spins during the break as well. Yeah, so join us for that. That's going to be fun. Yeah, man.
Nice.
Nice.
You know what? In the smoke break, I've got some lemon tree downstairs. So in the smoke break, I'm gonna swap my strawberry lemonade for lemon tree. Nice.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Lemon tree,
Yeah.
delicious.
It is.
Delicious weed. Damn. Yeah, and the Percy's Growing Grow Off as well also starts tomorrow. Tomorrow. Did you hear my common English come out there?
Tomorrow. Is that what that is? Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. You got a grow off going, innit?
Hey, bruv.
Hey, bruv. Yeah, beautiful. Tuesday. Yes, 3 nugs. You know how it goes, everybody. The common accent comes out sometimes. What can I say? But yeah, I mean, that's about everything. What anything interesting happened this week? You got any cool stories to tell, Margaret?
Cool stories to tell? Not really. No.
Ah,
No, I'm sorry. I've just been doing my thing, working on my the podcast as always, but also the website, buymepodcast.com, trying to make it more user friendly
Nice.
for people looking for stuff.
no,
Check it out.
no second podcast yet. Still,
No, not yet. I have recorded some stuff, but I just haven't really done anything with it since I recorded it.
we got to put it on private so send us the link so we can check it out. We'll give some feedback. You don't have to make it public. We
That's
can offer
true.
encouragement without it going public. You know.
Yeah, that's true. I'll think
That'd be
about
cool.
that.
Do that. Do that. Yeah, we haven't finished with all the updates over on Percy's grow room yet either. We've still got some things to because there's some bugs that I don't want to. I won't go into too much detail, but I don't want to upload it until all the fucking bugs have gone. So I'm letting all the other people test it out first, find the bugs, and then once the bugs have gone and it seems stable, then it will happen. But yeah, I'm not going to rush into it and make things break. You know what I mean? That's the way to do it. Stutty's back. That's another piece of news. Stutty's back. Stutty disappeared for like a month, just gone, no contact. We're like, oh shit, what's happened to him? You know, 'cause we don't know if he's been locked up or dead or whatever. You know, he's just gone. So, but yeah, he came back. He's just had some personal issues that he's had to sort out, and he's having some problems with his PC as well. So he's getting those fixed over the next week, and then he'll be back full time to continue liking all the posts over on Percy's. So yes, he is safe, everybody. He is well. Don't worry about him. Yeah,
Awesome.
The police didn't decide that he said the wrong thing then.
No, nothing to do with being arrested for his social media posts, which is a surprise.
Yeah,
you know?
which is more than likely.
That's
in
right.
This day and age.
Indeed. But yeah, that's a random piece of news. Passing legislation here in the UK when it comes to dog laws. Calm down, Smee. Don't get triggered. But it's like they're saying that if your dog upsets livestock, and when they mean livestock, there's a whole list of animals, fucking geese, birds, chickens, cows, sheep, a whole list of animals. So if your dog attacks it, obviously it's going to be in trouble, but it doesn't even need to attack it. It needs to just make it scared or upset the animal. So even if you've got your dog on a lead, it walks past the fence and barks at a sheep, for example, and the sheep gets scared, they can now give you a £1,000 fine and take your dogs off you.
For startling the livestock.
For startling the livestock. And the livestock is a long list of animals. It's not just
What?
cows. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yep.
It's like they're making it more and more difficult for people to own dogs now. And in 20 years' time,
Ridiculous.
we probably won't be able to have dogs in the UK. In West Korea.
No, you
sorry.
won't.
That's
It's-
crazy. What's
it's
behind
ridiculous.
that? Like why?
I don't want to go into speculations, Margaret, because we will definitely get flagged for it. But yeah, let's not
We
go
all
any
know
further than that. We won't make any
I'm soon
assumptions.
enough
We'll
we'll be
make
able
any
to go
assumptions.
far.
Move
So don't
along
worry about
swiftly,
it.
quickly.
Yeah,
Before I
but
talk.
it's
But it's
looking
not
like
the dogs you need to worry about, it's the owner, especially when it comes to me
no, but
walking my
the thing,
dogs.
the most concerning
'Cause
thing is right.
If my
It
dog
does.
looks like they're going to be scaring some sort of livestock, you don't think I'm walking up to like a livestock
No,
and punching
no.
it in the face now to
The
get
thing is,
the heat off my dog?
the
Point it
thing
on
is,
me.
Smee, right? Even if you've got your dog on a lead and you're just
Oh,
walking
no.
past on the path, so it's not like you're letting your dog off and your dog's chasing this thing around,
Oh,
because
I
that's
know,
bad
mate.
enough. But
I've
just
read it.
walking
It's
past and
ridiculous.
barking and upsetting the
ridiculous.
livestock, walking through a park, and we have loads of parks here in the UK where there's geese in the lake. Just Canadian geese. You know the geese.
Oh,
You know
yeah, I
the geese,
Canadian
Margaret. You know
geese.
those
I
guys.
sure do.
So
Yeah.
if your dog just walks past those and barks and upsets them so they fly off, that's
You know
upsetting
they're
the
called
livestock.
cobra chickens, right? Because they're assholes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
they're
absolutely.
cunts.
Mhm.
It
Canadian
doesn't even
geese.
make any sense. So they're saying if
again,
you walk by with your
this
dog and it
country-
startles a goose, they're like,
Yeah, they can give
they're
you
like, that's
£1,000
bad?
fine or take your dogs off you.
wow, that's
Yeah.
wild.
That's right.
For-
And
for
my dogs
Canadian
love to
geese,
swim.
Geese that don't even come from here. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, honestly, if the dog
that's
barks
the
at the
MO
goose,
now.
the goose might be likely to like just run after and peck at it.
Yeah, and most dogs
defend
will run
itself.
off scared.
Yeah.
I don't
It
know.
will
I think
defend
there's a
itself.
bigger motive behind all of this. They want to slowly
is.
reduce people having dogs here in the UK, which has been part of our culture for centuries, maybe even millennia. But the
We
UK's
can't have
changing.
culture, mate.
Yeah, that's
We're
right.
not allowed. We're
What
English.
can you do? But there you go. That was something to talk about to get us up to the 10-minute mark. So...
Fucking
It worked.
yeah.
Triggered.
Nice.
Triggered. Yeah.
So it means we can say anything now. We won't get a flag.
We've
Yeah, I
also
think
got
so,
to,
Billy.
like it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I like
yeah.
it.
we've also got to put some
Nice.
sort of note in our door for the postman now, don't we? To say
Oh, yeah.
that, oh, we have dogs. Please be afraid. So I put on my note, don't be a pussy. It's me you got to worry about, not the dogs.
Yeah. Mhm.
So
Yeah, and they also the
Yeah.
BBC, which is the propaganda machine for the government here in the UK. It's not a news network, and they
Allegedly.
put randomly. They asked a question that nobody else was fucking asking in the UK just a few weeks ago. Just a little documentary about has the UK become too dog friendly. Nobody was asking that.
no, because it's a stupid question. Because how can you be too dog friendly? Honestly, I know
Well,
people
you
that are too goat
can,
friendly,
but that's
and
like
nothing
Jimmy
said about
Savile
that.
No, I'm
level of dog
saying-
friendly. So
I'm
like,
saying- Anyway, we ready for the news?
yes,
I
move
guess
along.
so.
Yes, I think we should definitely move on. Let's
I think
go.
we should.
Okay, so which one are we going to do first? Should we just get straight stuck in with the trigger word? Everybody brace yourself, brace yourself. We're going to use the T word, all right? But there's been some big news that has come out of the USA just in the last day, the last 24 hours or so. We have this news article here, and it's worded in certain ways. You can tell there's a bias behind it because of some of the language they use here. It's quite funny. But Trump rolls out Joe Rogan for White House psychedelics announcements and jokes hid like some meds for anxiety. That's not what he said. It's not what he said at all. It's just Trump making the ridiculous Trump jokes that he usually makes. But, you know, they're going to spin it around like, oh, Trump says that he suffers with depression and anxiety now, when it's not what he said. You know, Joe Rogan, who has been fiercely critical of Trump's war in Iran, was a special guest in the Oval Office to witness the executive order signing. And this is pretty big fucking news, man. This is a reasonably big step. Just out of nowhere, out of left field, as they say, this news has popped up. And we'll read on a little bit more so you can see what's happening here. President Donald Trump cracked a joke about wanting to take a psychedelic during a White House event touting the benefits of the drug. The president made the remark at a Saturday morning event in the Oval Office where he signed an executive order to accelerate medical treatments for serious mental illness, including the therapeutic benefits of LSD, psilocybin, ecstasy, and other psychedelics. In attendance was the popular podcaster Joe Rogan. In case anybody didn't know, Joe Rogan, the UFC commentator, he also has a podcast, which is in case you didn't know that, who has advocated for the treatments, but also recently been fiercely critical of Trump's war in Iran. Trump touted the success of the psychedelic drug ibogaine and a Schedule 1 controlled substance, and cited a study which had said participants experienced an 80 to 90% reduction in symptoms of depression and anxiety within 1 month. And then Trump said in quotation marks, "Can I have some, please?" Trump quipped, promoting the room to erupt in laughter. "I'll do what it takes. I don't have time to be depressed. If you stay busy enough, maybe that's what works too. That's what I do." So, you know, just putting a little spin on it there, as they do. I don't think Trump would really want to take some LSD or mushrooms, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe he does. That would be
Could be good for him.
funny. Yeah. It would be fun to see. I mean, Trump says some crazy shit already. You imagine him on fucking acid? Jesus. I am the best at flying. Nobody can fly like me.
Oh, God, yeah. You know what? I changed my mind.
Rogan, who endorsed Trump for president in 2024, said the executive order came about after he sent Trump a text about psychedelic therapies. Veteran organizations and psychedelics advocates have long contended that the ibogaine, which is made from a shrub native to West Africa, has great promise for hard-to-treat conditions such as post-traumatic stress disorder and opioid addiction. Retired Navy SEAL Marcus Luttrell, who has written about his struggles with depression and PTSD in the memoir Lone Survivor, told Trump how ibogaine changed his life for the better. In quotes here, "You're going to save a lot of lives with this," Luttrell told Trump. also in quotes, I'd like to show how grateful I am to have had the opportunity to go through the program and receive the ibogaine. I want to tell everybody how this happened, Rogan explained. I sent President Trump some information. The text message then came back. Sounds great. Do you want an FDA approval? Let's do it, Rogan claimed. It was literally that quick. Trump clarified that he had checked it out with Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who was also in attendance on Saturday, and other members of his administration. I didn't just do it, said the president. Why not? You used to just randomly doing things without consent, but just... but still, the president also took a swipe at Rogan, and I've watched the video. He didn't take a fucking swipe. He made a joke. But they want to frame it as if he took a swipe, like he's trying to take a knock at Joe Rogan. It's just a ridiculous thing to say, to put it in that context. The president also took a swipe at Rogan for being a liberal after the podcaster called out Trump's terrifying war on his show Thursday. Anytime you're involved with, this is what Joe Rogan said, anytime you're involved with your shooting missiles into towns and blowing things up, blowing up infrastructure, blowing up bridges, and Israel blowing up Lebanon, Rogan said on his podcast. Now it's like, what the fuck are we doing? How is this still going on? We all respect Joe, Trump said Saturday. He's a little bit more liberal than me, and that's okay. And that's what he said. That was the alleged swipe he took at Joe Rogan. It's not a swipe at all. And you can see, if you watch the video and it's put into context with tone, you can see he's just joking. This week, Rogan also poked fun at Trump's claim at the controversial AI-generated images he posted on Truth Social, depicting him as a doctor, not Jesus. Sure, buddy. Rogan was at the White House event after raising the profile of ibogaine on his podcast. He hosted former Texas Governor Rick Perry, the co-founder of a group called Americans for Ibogaine, who made the case for reducing federal limits on the drug on the show. The administration is now taking steps to ease access to psychedelics that Trump said were already designated as potential breakthroughs by federal regulators. Owners of ibogaine clinics said the impact of the order will not be immediate. In quotation marks, there will be no insurance coverage. It will still be considered unapproved and non-covered care, said Tom Fiegel of Beyond Ibogaine, but spelt different. B-E-O-N-D. Beyond, I don't know whether that's correct or it's a typo, which operates a clinic in Cancun, Mexico. But what it does mean is that ibogaine shifts from being fringe and underground to being federally acknowledged. So this seems to be like really good fucking news, because there's lots of people out there who have said that they've had good results with ibogaine, like opioid addiction, as it said here in the article, and there's studies to back it up as well. It's not just random people saying shit. It's there's some pretty good evidence to say that 80 to 90% of people who take this ibogaine stop using the opioids. Like the addiction stops. So I've never tried it. I mean, I only heard about it maybe a year or two ago. It sounds like an interesting substance, but if it's going to go out there and treat people's PTSD, depression, and anxiety and addiction with just 1 or 2 doses rather than lifelong use, then that's got to be a good thing. And studies need to be done to get proper information on this shit and get it to people who needs it. And this is a good step in the right direction, I think. What do you think? What do you think about this, Smee? You got anything to add for this one?
Yeah, I completely agree. Getting people off opioids is the way to go. 75% of medical deaths, remember, opioid. So medical overdoses.
Is that really 75%?
Yeah, we did it in a show a few weeks ago.
Yeah, we did it. What was the citation needed?
Yeah,
we did it in a show about a month ago, when we was discussing about how much opioids contributed to the accidental overdose in medical thing, and it's 75%.
I see it's like 2 out of 3 deaths of young people is down to self-deletion as well, let's say, to prevent the flags, which is crazy numbers.
Right.
So if you can do something about that by helping people with depression, then, man, it's definitely the right direction to be heading in. And rather than having them on these SSRIs and antidepressants for months or even years, just a couple of doses of ibogaine might change the whole perspective. It's very
Mhm.
interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. I'm curious why Joe Rogan's going into the Oval Office to talk about ibogaine and not cannabis. Like if he has the president's ear
Hmm.
and he can call him up and be like, "Hey, why don't you make this happen?" And
Yeah.
Trump's like, "Okay." Why isn't he talking about federal legalization for cannabis? Because what little I do know about ibogaine is that it's a serious fucking trip. It's nothing like
Hmm.
mushrooms, and there
Mm.
is like a higher risk profile with ibogaine than there is with mushrooms. Like people have heart attacks and shit when they're on it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really intense. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's
Is
not
it
something you would do for fun. It's
Joe
literally
No,
Rogan?
it's
yeah,
guided and all that as well. It's
Mm.
part
yeah,
Yeah,
of a
like the
whole
ayahuasca.
process.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
But then
so
when you
yeah,
have a
that's
bunch of politicians and influencers and business people in the Oval Office, I don't know if I trust it. I don't know
can
if I
No,
trust
no,
it.
don't
I
trust
would
it.
Profiting.
No.
no no
Yeah.
I can't always
Just
trust it,
trust
but
the
would
fact that
say
you're able to do it yourself.
in
You
Joe
know.
Yeah.
Rogan's defense, in a manner, he has some friends who are really into this, and he knows a fucking lot. If you know
He's
what I mean,
been
actual
he's been
experts.
trumpeting
He's
psilocybin for years now.
he's been
Hmm.
talking about the psychedelic stuff for a really really long time.
Oh,
Yes,
If
I
he
you know
know.
what
has.
I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know.
he really knows what he's talking about. That's why he is a bit of an expert on it in a manner. But
He's
He
been
likes his
smoking weed for
DMT as
this
well
long.
and
Why
all that
isn't
sort of stuff.
he talking to Trump
because
about
cannabis,
legalizing weed?
he has, and so's
Yeah,
Musk
that's
and
it.
stuff.
Maybe it has. Yeah.
Which is why Trump come out and said his other things, because obviously there are other people around him apart from it who are trying to push on. But there's so much lobbying against cannabis. If you know what I mean, the cannabis lobby against, which is much bigger than the
Hmm.
ibogaine. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
true.
Hmm.
No one knew.
Hmm.
Yeah, no one knew about ibogaine. It's like, well, let's whack this in there before all the pharmaceutical companies start lobbying against it.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So I think it's one of them things. Is because he's Joe's probably got some friends personally who've been using it. If you know what I mean, he's got some real personal experience with it. So it's let's get this in there. I know I can get something changed and done. So he's like, let me use my influence to try and do it. If you know what I mean? 'Cause,
Yeah, Billy's squeezing his clown
yeah.
nose there.
Oh
Yeah.
no, yeah. Giving my secret away.
Mm.
It's my dog with her toy. That's my excuse anyway.
Good dog,
My
good
fault.
dog. You know,
Yeah,
kill
go
it,
on, carry
kill
on.
it. Yeah.
It's
Anyway,
distressing,
Smee, I know you're a big fan of Joe Rogan. What do you think about it? Triggered, triggered.
Again, Jesus, Macky, come on. Uh, anything that helps, I think, is good, regardless of
Mhm.
who is like who's doing it.
Mhm.
Obviously, that's a within reason, but yeah, Joe Rogan is a bit of a tool, but if he can use his platform to help these veterans get medicine that's not opioid and
Yeah.
all the other
Mhm.
crap, then more power to him. More power to him. Just because I think the guy is a clown sometimes, and personally, I don't care for him too much. Don't mean to say, he's not doing something that's decent and right.
Indeed. That's it. I think
But
it's a good
again,
step
I'm
in the
like
right
Margaret.
direction.
You don't know. You don't
Mhm.
know. It could. It's right in a way that if it's legalized, then maybe you can start doing it yourself, like cannabis. If it was legalized here, I wouldn't need to worry about my cannabis prescriptions because I would be making my own, and it'd be the same with I suppose, the psychedelics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If people are able to take their medication into their own hands a little bit, then that's a good thing, I
And
think.
it's interesting as well how it's not just ibogaine. They're talking about LSD, MDMA,
Yep.
mushroom,
Yep.
psilocybin and shit.
all of
So
it.
this could potentially, over the next few years, when more research is done, it could open up a lot of alternative treatments to these big pharma bullshit pills they try and ram down your neck nowadays. Imagine how nice it would be for people to be able to just have psilocybin pills rather than SSRIs. I think that would be a massive bonus.
It might drop all the ego in the world because there's a fucking lot of ego in the world right now.
Mhm, mhm.
Small
Yeah.
amounts of ecstasy or MDMA are really good for like stuff like PTSD and stuff as well. Microdosing that.
Yep.
It's amazing actually. Really, what we're missing out on. So hopefully that can change.
Yeah, man.
I know. There's
So
even
heading in the right direction, maybe.
Mm.
We'll see what happens. Of course, we'll keep everybody informed when we're like, LSD's now legal in the United States federally. Let's go. Let's go on a trip for a trip. You know what I'm saying?
Federal legalization of
innit?
LSD before cannabis would be kind of
That would be crazy. That's not on
crazy.
the bingo card.
No,
That's not on the
it's
bingo
not. That would be
card.
crazy.
No. We'll see what happens. Let's talk about cannabis and diabetes. What's going on here? This is some interesting propaganda.
Yeah. I haven't even really read this, so I don't know if it's propaganda or not. We'll find out together. High risk
right.
behavior, what your parent or what your patients should know about cannabis and diabetes. All right. For
It's
people
crazy
with
because I read that as parents as well.
yeah, patients.
Yeah, that's weird.
So this is more about maybe educating, perhaps, and not a little less
Who's
fear-mongering.
the article written by, Margaret? What's the name of the author?
Oladimiji Uwami.
Good enough. Good enough.
Macky. Yeah, she's done well. No.
Yeah.
He's waiting for
That
the
was
proper
definitely a
quote,
tricky one. My apologies to the author of this particular article because I'm certain I got that incorrect.
That question was well loaded as well, because he
Yeah,
said,
it was
I
terrible.
know.
I
I'm
apologize,
pretty
Margaret.
Sure
That was
that's why you
terrible
gave
of
me
me.
this article.
Oh
but-
no! Wait until you see Smee's one. Wait till. Spoiler alert! Sorry,
Okay.
Margaret.
Oh, that's
Oh,
okay.
Smee's seen Smee's one.
I think he chooses the articles now just for the names in them. He doesn't care about their children.
Hey, it's a big
Like,
part.
what's the names
know.
of the people? He just scours the names
Absolutely.
now.
It
He's
is
like,
a
yeah, this
big
is a
part.
good
Like,
article.
oh, this is really important. People should know this, but the names are easy to pronounce. I think we'll leave this one out.
Right. Well, this does come from Endocrinology Advisor. So I don't know if that's like a journal or something, but it sounds pretty official. But for people with diabetes, cannabis use can exacerbate cardiovascular risk, destabilize blood glucose management, and undermine day-to-day medication adherence, according to recent reports by the American Diabetes Association, citing the risk for cannabis hyperemesis syndrome and related metabolic decompensation. In response to accumulating evidence, the 2025 ADA Standards of Care in Diabetes added 2 new recommendations for clinicians. One, advise people with type 1 diabetes and others at risk for diabetic ketoacidosis to avoid recreational cannabis in any form. And 2, encourage all youths with diabetes to avoid the recreational use of cannabis. As cannabis use rises in parallel with broader legalization across the United States, clinicians must proactively counsel patients with diabetes about these risks and help them navigate informed, safer choices. Now, if I recall, type 1 diabetes is the type of diabetes where you are born with the condition, and type 2 is when you get it later in life. Does anybody happen to know?
Absolutely no idea.
Okay, well, I'm pretty sure maybe somebody in the chat knows.
Yeah, somebody in chat's going to tell us.
Yeah.
It's lucky that we don't have to know, isn't it? It's that's quite a privilege to not have
Yeah.
to know which type of diabetes does what. Which
Yeah.
ones you have to do the injections for, which ones don't you have to do the injections for?
Yeah. So cannabis is derived from the cannabis plant, which contains 2 primary active compounds, CBD and THC, that each exert distinct biological effects. Both are part of a broader group of chemicals called cannabinoids that interact with cannabinoid receptors on cells throughout the body, including the brain, and where they influence signaling pathways involved in neurotransmitter release. CB1 receptors are primarily expressed in the central nervous system, adipose tissue, and many endocrine organs, whereas CB2 receptors are expressed mainly in the peripheral nervous system and immune cells. In contrast, CBD has minimal direct activity on CB1 and CB2 receptors and instead acts on multiple other targets, including transient receptor potential, vanilloid, nociceptive channel,
Yes! Yes!
or
Gotta.
TRPV1.
I have no idea what that says either. Fucking hell. Nociceptive? Nociceptive?
Nociceptive. Nociceptive.
Nociceptive.
No,
I'm
septum.
very unfamiliar with that word,
Yeah.
which can modulate peripheral pain sensitivity. The human body has an endocannabinoid system, a complex body-wide network that helps maintain physiological balance, comprising cannabinoid receptors.
CDM dashes, just saying.
Yeah. Naturally occurring ligands, metabolic enzymes, and regulatory proteins that work together to support homeostasis. Because this system influences multiple biological processes, its dysfunction has been implicated in a wide range of diseases, positioning the endocannabinoid system as an essential therapeutic target with growing clinical interest. In a 2016 review of studies that laid the groundwork for subsequent research, estimates showed that cannabis is one of the most commonly used illicit substances worldwide, with an estimated 180 million people aged 15 to 64 years using it for non-medical purposes. However, a recent real-world study shows that cannabis use continues to rise globally, with an estimated 219 million users, whereas its long-term metabolic effects remain unclear.
I would say that, I don't know, it just seems like bullshit as well. Only 180 million people.
I
And
was thinking
obviously,
the same.
more people have come out and said that they do use it now. It's being legalized in different places and the stigma's falling. But still,
Yeah.
even 219 million users out of what? We're on like 8.5 billion people on the planet now. I don't know. I think there's got to be more than that. But
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, I tend to think so too. Like the freedom of how much you can talk about it
Mm-hmm.
is gonna. Anyway.
You know, all those
we got
people in
plenty to talk about.
Singapore, they are not admitting to using
Yeah,
cannabis.
there's a lot of people in a lot of
Damn right.
places that would never admit to openly to
Mhm.
using cannabis.
What even is cannabis? What do you mean?
Yeah, not me.
Oh, what is drugs? Yeah, have you seen that fucking quick tangent? There's that video out there. If you search on YouTube for what is drugs, there's this guy who's crashed his car, is being arrested by the police, and his eyes are fucking huge. This guy is clearly fucked out of his mind. And the police are saying to him, are you under the influence of any drugs? And he's just like, what is drugs? And just tries to look innocent, like he doesn't know what
Right.
drugs is. You fucking idiot. Sorry, Margaret.
No, that's okay. I think I've seen that actually.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
Classic internet.
Convincing
clip.
nobody but himself.
You know what I mean? What is drugs? And it's the look on his
Yeah.
face like, yeah, they're definitely going to believe me. Now I've
Right.
said that.
My eyes look
Fucking
like
hell.
saucers, but sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, according to a cross-sectional survey of past month cannabis use among adults with diabetes in the US between 2021 and 2022, cannabis use was more common among younger individuals, as nearly half of users, 48.9%, were under 50 years of age, compared with 20.4% of non-users in this age group. In multivariable analysis, previous month cannabis use was independently associated with living in a state where cannabis is legal, a history of hepatitis, a major depressive episode in the last year, and emergency department use within the previous year. Although the health effects of cannabis remain incompletely understood, broader legalization and perceived health benefits have driven greater use among individuals living with metabolic health conditions, including diabetes. Limited evidence suggests that cannabis may be associated with alterations in metabolic parameters, yet awareness of these potential associations among healthcare professionals is insufficient, facilitating the need for appropriate patient and physician education to prevent and mitigate potential associated risks, which are Ajani Jackson, MD, board certified adult, child, and adolescent psychiatrist and clinical advisor at Marietta Springs Behavioral Health Care in Marietta, Georgia, gave an overview of the knowledge gap between the earliest clinical evidence of cannabis use and diabetes, and now noting that early hopes of cannabis improving insulin sensitivity has not borne out. While some population studies suggest that lower fasting insulin levels and waist circumference among cannabis users, these findings do not clearly apply to people with T1D or type 2 diabetes, Dr. Jackson said. In type 2 diabetes, cannabis use is associated with a higher risk of diabetic ketoacidosis and related hospitalizations, likely due to nausea, vomiting, or delayed gastric emptying. However, in type 2 diabetes, its effects are largely indirect, driven by behaviors such as increased appetite, which can cause glucose spikes. That's interesting. Although cannabis is generally considered safe for many individuals and can exert potential benefits, such as improved blood sugar regulation and insulin resistance for people with diabetes, possible adverse effects include hyperglycemia, anxiety, and an increased risk for substance use disorder. These risks may be more clinically significant among individuals with type 2 diabetes, in which cannabis use can complicate metabolic control and symptom recognition. One primary concern is DKA, a serious potentially life-threatening complication caused by absolute or relative insulin deficiency. DKA typically represents or presents with nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, hyperglycemia, lethargy, and in severe cases, coma. Evidence suggests that moderate cannabis use compared with non-use among individuals type 1 or type 2? Type 2 diabetes. Sorry, that's type 1 diabetes, is associated with a 2 to 3-fold increased risk for DKA due to impaired self-management behaviors and delayed gastric emptying. However, the exact pathophysiological I can't today remains incompletely understood. Pathophysiologically, no.
Yeah, this is a difficult article, and it's long too.
It is, yeah. It's a pretty clinical article.
Mm-hmm. Those clinical ones are usually long as fuck.
Yeah. I'm going to skip down a little bit to cannabis use, blood glucose management, and medication adherence, because what they're pretty much suggesting in the paragraph I just read is that, I guess, because cannabis can make you hungry, and then you get the munchies, and then you eat stuff maybe you shouldn't, and then it slows down gastric emptying. That can cause complications if you have diabetes.
That's what I picked up as well, Margaret.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. It's basically blaming cannabis for them being weak-willed.
Yeah. And that's just a stereotype as well. Oh, I got the munchies, so I ate all the donuts. And it's like, nah. Yeah, as I said before, we've had this discussion on the show. People eat different things when they have the munchies. I like to have a nice peach. And everyone was like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Macky? Eating peaches when you got the munchies. But, you know, you don't have to eat the Oreos.
Right. Well, you're suggesting that they're eating Oreos.
Yeah. But I'm just suggesting that is one of the things they might eat. You know.
Right. But they could, like, blood sugar spikes can happen when you eat all kinds of foods.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be Oreos. It could be peaches.
Yeah.
But
eat
a steak. Some people just don't have a balanced diet. Some people just eat crap all the time.
Right.
You know, try a salad and some vegetables for a change instead of frozen pre-packed crap. However, some people can't afford that because it can be quite expensive these days to buy fruit and veg.
Oh, God, that's very true as well.
But then at the same time, Aldi and all the other supermarkets, they have like this 5p, 10p fruit and veg sections, don't they? Where, you know, I know at Christmas time they do anyway. They have the battle of the veggies, don't they? They put the veggies down to such a ridiculously low price.
Do they?
Yeah,
do that
they do here. Yeah,
like.
You can buy a whole vegetables for your Christmas dinner for less than £1.
Yeah,
it's unreal.
Aldi did one of those recently because the missus was buzzing. She's like, "Oh, I got 4p vegetables at Aldi. Let's go."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
4p and shit. That's right.
Wow. Yeah, we don't have that. I don't know what 4p is though. So
4p, but like 4 cents.
Literally 4 cents?
Yeah,
well,
it's
probably less than
maybe
that.
6 cents.
Like 6 cents Canadian?
Yeah.
Jesus fuck. Our food is so expensive here. It's wild. Like
you live in a frozen flatlands, so you know nothing grows there except uranium.
That is actually a fun fact, not true.
But... Oh right, okay, my bad. It's just a stereotypical Canadian thing.
We do grow stuff here. I mean, I guess it depends on what you're buying, but fuck, I haven't seen anything in the grocery store vegetable wise for like 5 cents in my lifetime. I don't think. Yeah.
Come to the UK, Margaret.
Might have
don't really.
Yeah,
don't.
Actually,
it's not worth it. It's not worth the price. Yeah. You know what I mean? Anyway.
All right. Emerging population level data suggests that cannabis use may interfere with effective diabetes self-management and glycemic control. Data from the 2022 National Survey on Drug Use and Health involving 6,816 adults with self-reported diagnosis of diabetes suggested that cannabis use may complicate diabetes management by worsening glycemic control and self-care behaviors. As outlined in a review published in Diabetes Care, reported mechanisms include increased appetite and binge eating, leading to wide glucose fluctuations, impaired judgment resulting in missed or delayed insulin dosing, and cannabinoid-related slowing of gastric motility, which causes unpredictable glucose absorption and gastrointestinal symptoms. Among
Wow.
adults with type 1 diabetes, cannabis users versus non-users were younger, more often male, had higher hemoglobin, lower use of insulin pumps, and continuous glucose monitoring, more frequently missed insulin doses, twofold higher risk of DKA, and poor self-management scores. Dr. Jackson warned that cannabis can impair executive function, short-term memory, and motivation, increasing the risk that patients forget to bolus, check glucose levels, or take medications such as metformin.
Wow.
That just tells me you're dumb.
What are they trying to say? People get too high and can't keep track of their dosage?
Basically, yeah, they're too
Yeah.
thick to remember what they're doing. It's like, that's just stupid.
You set an
Uh,
alarm on your phone and
Cannabis,
stuff.
yeah.
I'm sure these guys would be well prepared to deal with this kind of thing.
There's loads of people out there who forget to take their medication, and most of them are not on cannabis. So it's like,
Yeah, yeah.
fuck off blaming cannabis. You can't. So.
Yeah.
I skipped down a bit. This pooled evidence emphasizes the need for clinicians to educate patients that the safety of recreational cannabis and diabetes has not been established, and that available data link regular use with poor glycemic control and suboptimal self-management behaviors. Each of these factors may impair medication adherence and reduce glucose monitoring by increased missed insulin doses and disrupting meal timing. Both are closely linked to higher HbA levels, including a higher burden of acute diabetes-related complications and an increased risk for DKA among individuals with type 1 diabetes.
You know what would be nice?
Mm-hmm.
If we could believe what these guys are saying. But because we've seen so much propaganda against cannabis for so long, any kind of negative article about it, you have to be really skeptical of and just think, is this bullshit? Are they actually telling the truth, or is it just more propaganda to make people think cannabis is the devil? You know what I mean?
Right.
It would be nice to be like, oh, well, this is all important information. We should pay attention to this. But whenever I see anything cannabis health related in a negative aspect, I'm always a little bit like, nah, fuck these liars.
Well,
How dare they?
there's a whole paragraph on cannabis and heart health, which is suggesting that cannabis, and of course it's talking about people with diabetes specifically, and that there's an increased risk if you're using cannabis. But I'm going to skip down to clinical counseling and practice gaps. To counsel patients on safe cannabis use, monitoring approaches, and risk mitigation strategies, Dr. Akhturk said the first step is to encourage cannabis users to be open about to their care team. Dr. Jackson advised clinicians to replace broad or stigmatizing questions with specific non-judgmental ones, such as asking whether patients use cannabis for sleep, pain, or stress, to normalize the conversation and encourage honest disclosure. When patients view cannabis as natural and therefore low risk, it's easier to explain to them that many plant-derived substances have potent and sometimes unpredictable effects, particularly in people with diabetes. For counseling, he emphasized a harm reduction approach, discouraging smoking in favor of less harmful routes of use, advised patients not to use cannabis alone, and recommended more frequent glucose monitoring with finger sticks or CGM, which are continuous glucose monitors, when using cannabis to reduce the risk of adverse glycemic events. That seems a little more positive, I guess. Like they're suggesting, you don't want to be super judgmental to your patients. They don't talk to you about their cannabis use
Yeah, yeah.
at all. Like there's ways to sort of mitigate these potential effects that are harmful. Like, I don't know about you guys, but cannabis used to give me the munchies a lot, but it doesn't anymore. But I'm sure
Yeah.
there's like cultivars or whatever that encourage you to have the munchies and ones that don't. So maybe you should not have the ones that make you want to rip open your fridge
Yeah.
door and eat
It
whatever's
usually
in
seems
there.
that way, doesn't it? It's to
Yeah.
do with the terpenes and the cannabinoids. It's not just all cannabis gives you the munchies. Because, for example, they do have that one Diet Durban or strains or cultivars that have THCV in it, which is an
Right.
appetite
They're like
Appetite
suppressants.
suppressant.
Yeah.
So that's cannabis, but that's not going to give you the munchies.
Right.
No.
And they are suggesting that if they have patients that are using cannabis, then be like, maybe you need just to be a little more stringent with tracking your glucose and using glucose monitors and all that stuff as well, instead of being like, don't do that, it's bad for you. Or like try edibles or use a dry herb vaporizer instead of smoking joints, which may cause, other issues or whatever.
I smoked for so long and I never got the munchies for such a long time after the beginning of smoking.
That's it's when
And
you
then I
first
moved on
start
to
smoking.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I moved on to edibles, and fuck me, I got the munchies back because I got
Did you?
smashed in a different way. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I've got the munchies. But now I've been on the edibles a bit more. That's starting to ebb off again.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
edibles
mean?
don't give me munchies.
So I think it is definitely when you first start, it's like a little maybe a side effect, which is as far
Right,
as side effects go, you're not losing your memory. You're not, you know, you're not going to slip into a coma. You know, unless you're
right.
in the meat sweats maybe, and that's about it.
Yeah.
But I just think it's something that over time, if you're using it long term, it's something that goes away. But yeah, when I got onto the edibles for the first time, a few yeah, munchies
Mm-hmm.
came back. Like I was saying to the missus, I'm stood at the fridge just ramming my face. I'm like, can't stop eating, can't stop eating. Whoa, this is like the munchies all over again. I felt 16.
Right.
It was great.
Yeah.
So and but yeah, that's starting to ebb off now. But I feel sometimes without consuming cannabis, I'd have no appetite at all because
Right. Well,
sometimes
just
you
to
just
finish
get
up here,
busy.
there's
Sorry, go
just
on.
a couple of paragraphs. Dr. Jackson agreed, they were talking about something, noting that the gaps in clinical knowledge on cannabis and diabetes are still quite broad, and more long-term prospective studies examining the different delivery methods, vapes versus edibles versus smoking, specifically in diabetic populations, are needed. Current clinical data is retrospective, meaning we're looking backwards at what people did, which isn't always accurate, he added. Most of the benefits people talk about regarding inflammation or insulin are tied to CBD, but most users consume THC products. So we need more studies distinguishing between those or these cannabinoids to really understand the relationship between cannabis and diabetes. And there you have it, folks.
Indeed. Important stuff, man. Important stuff. Like I said, I just wish we could rely on studies like this and articles like this and know that they are actually telling us the truth. And they might be, but we've just been lied to for so long by so many different organizations that you just can't trust what any of these fuckers are saying. Maybe cannabis is good for diabetes. Who knows? Who knows? Let's see
I
some
would
actual
suggest,
studies.
though, that this article didn't really necessarily malign cannabis and say don't do it or it's horrible. They were suggesting that if you are diabetic, that you probably do need to be a little more cautious because what little I also know about diabetes or people that have had it is that poorly managed diabetes can cause a fuck ton of health complications,
Yeah.
like crazy amount of health
Yeah,
complications.
people have legs amputated and shit because of it.
I have a
Yeah.
friend who that happened to her father. He lost a leg and lost his eyesight from poorly managed diabetes. And if you're not taking
Yep.
your medications, and in some
Wow.
places, medications for diabetes can get really expensive, which means, it might be more poorly managed if you can't necessarily afford to get the medication. Like there's all kinds of things around diabetes. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Scary shit, man. Scary
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, long article, that one. Long one. So we should move on to the next one. Let's have Billy talk about the Lib Dems, as we call them, the Liberal Democrats.
Right, the less we say about them, the better. Let's move along into the article.
So we just jump straight onto Smee's then?
No.
Skip it all together.
No, we have to at least talk a little bit about it. I'm just saying, let's not talk about the Lib Dems being complete twats. So, a political movement by a bunch of twats to protect UK medical cannabis patients from decriminalisation has gained significant momentum. So this is the Welsh Lib Dems, as we said earlier. They're trying to pass a motion calling for the UK-wide guidance to end what campaigners describe as basically a postcode lottery for legal protections, which it is. England is a postcode lottery for lots of things. So this is just, and health is definitely one of them. Like where you live depends on what operations you're allowed locally by the NHS, which is stupid. It's fucking pathetic, isn't it, really? But hey, just try not to get into tangents. So the motion titled Protecting Patients Prescribed Medical Cannabis and Other Essential Medicines from Discrimination in Wales. Okay, that was long enough, wasn't it?
Yeah. They couldn't come up with an acronym for that one, could they?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So it was proposed by the Clyd, East and Flintshire Liberal Democrats and passed at the party's spring 2026 conference, so just recently. It marks the first time a UK political party has adopted protecting medical cannabis patients' rights as an official policy, which is quite interesting in a way that someone's at least adopted it. So give them kudos for that. But they just might be trying to buy votes with it, if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, which half the time that's what political parties do. They try and buy your vote in that way. So the move builds on groundbreaking work by Salford councillor Andrew Waters, who in November 23 became the first UK councillor to secure protections for patients prescribed cannabis-based products for medical use, CBPMs. His motion, which Salford City Council passed, established a template that Flintshire County Council became the first Welsh authority to adopt in April 2025. This is not about creating new rights. These rights exist in law, he said. So Councillor David Coggins-Cogan, that's an odd name, isn't it? David Coggins-Cogan. I suppose he's Welsh, though. Who drafted the Flintshire motion with support from patient David Case. It's not about creating separate rooms in buildings. It's about creating safe indoor spaces through education, understanding and tolerance. The Welsh Lib Dem motion aims to end discrimination faced by patients who hold a legal prescription for the CBPMs and other essential medicines like insulin, emergency inhalers. Despite medical cannabis being legalised in the UK in November 2018, patients report facing eviction threats from landlords, having medications confiscated by police, and being forced into administer medicine in outdoor smoking areas, or literally just standing in some freezing cold hut in winter. So yeah, not exactly nice when you've got to walk like 500 miles to get to that hut too, sort of thing.
So exaggeration, but yeah.
But yeah, that's sort of only slight exaggeration. Oh god, you seen the picture of him with the moustache? He looks like he should be like an old RAF fighter pilot or something.
He does. Look, there you go, everybody. That's what he looks like. Jesus. I don't understand why people have moustaches and no beards.
No, yeah, I don't understand that. That's proper traditional like English moustache. That one.
But it used to be part of the uniform. Did you know that in the British
yeah,
Army?
I suppose. Yeah,
Pre World War One, having a moustache was part of the uniform.
Huh.
I think it's partially to prove that you was of age as well. If you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
Originally, if you couldn't grow a moustache, then you weren't really long and old enough to be in the army yet.
So
what paperwork would you have back a few hundred years back? Hey, you would have done. Yeah.
So a
Some
mustache and porn
14-year-old
star
farmer.
is military and porn star is like
Same thing.
thingy for mustaches.
Yeah, 70s. Yeah, that's where the 70s. Is mustache.
Two professions you must have a mustache for.
Right.
Yeah, it's got to be a light moustache. It can't be short and black. If you know what I mean.
Anyway,
It's got to be a hairy one. Right, small tangent about moustaches. Let's move along.
Go. Random fact of the week. There you go.
So Case, who helped bring the motion to Welsh Lib Dems, said that it's been a while since he said that while it was great relief to him and many other patients that medical cannabis can now be legally prescribed, there were still problems due to lack of government information campaign notifying public authorities and stakeholders to actually the change in the law. So that's the issue I think people are having, is that no one knows that the law's actually changed and what it actually is. The government's created the stigma around medical cannabis, and then it's being placed to just deal with it, if you know what I mean. So like every institution, just well, if someone's using cannabis on your premises, then deal with it. It's your issue. There's no legal framework or definition. And I think that's what they're trying to establish a lot more of. He kept told in Leafly in a statement that this lack of information has left many patients being treated as if they are criminals, which is true, especially by housing organisations and obviously the police. Like, because being arrested, you feel like a criminal. The motion calls for the party to use its councillors and influence in the Senate, which is basically their like parliament as such, their local assembly. So like they're the mayor of their town, and they make a lot of decisions because of devolution and stuff. People don't understand that shit abroad. So the police forces and other public bodies, housing providers, they all recognise that it's legal, prescribed medication, but it challenges the no vaping and no smoking policies that force medical cannabis patients to use in unsafe outdoor areas. So arguing that these often breach the Equality Act as well. So they want reasonable adjustments for disability, because that's what it is. A lot of people are actually disabled and they're using their disability medication. It's crazy, like sending someone with insulin like downstairs, while or someone with Parkinson's. Oh yeah, you got to walk downstairs, mate. Take your medication down there. It's like their legs are shaking the fuck everywhere. In their arms, they can't hold on. It's like they're probably going to fall down the stairs and die doing it. They're like, and it's the law though. You can't fucking stay up here and do your medication. It's like what? But without it can't get downstairs. So it's fucking yeah. This is where it becomes dangerous. It's stupid. So most conditions for CBPMs are prescribed, including chronic pain, epilepsy, multiple sclerosis, and post-traumatic stress disorder. So imagine like having an epileptic fit, like, and you think, I'm going to have one. If I vape some cannabis now, it helps subdue it. Like, no, mate, you've got to walk down the stairs, a few flights of stairs, and have an epileptic fit right at the top of the stairs. Like, it's yeah, it's like you would just chin the cunt, wouldn't you, and take your meds. It's like, yeah, I don't care. Like, sorry about the violent outburst there, but it's that's how I feel. It's risking someone's life because you don't want them to take a medication. It's pathetic. So unlike traditional smoking, medical vaporizers are approved devices, especially the Stultz and Bickel. It's actually recognised by the government as well. So if you've definitely got one of them, like you're within 100% within the law. Also, you should be able to do it anywhere because it's a medication. So this is the issue they're having. Like, basically, the motion specifically calls for the development of UK-wide guidance to ensure that there's consistency for patients across the country. Also advocates for the right of patients to administer their medicine safely and with the dignity of indoor and under controlled settings, which it should be. It's medication. A senior North Wales police official responding to the Flintshire motion last year acknowledged limited awareness within policing. I think it would be both fair and accurate to say that our exposure to the CBPMs has thus far been limited, so general awareness about their legality is likely limited, the official said. I will start a discussion with our controlled drugs liaison officer and see what guidance and material may already be available to law enforcement agencies. Again, just palming it off, really, if you know what I mean. Well, it should be. Individual officers should actually be punished, and their seniors should be punished with like strikes on their accounts and shit for getting it wrong. You know what I mean? And then they'd be, oh fuck, shit, it's actually I'm doing it, yeah. And then they would
some
actually
kind of consequence for fucking up.
yeah, because it's their job. They've got to start taking their fucking job seriously when it becomes to people with medication. It's a life or death situation with some. So it's like, what the fuck? So the UK's medical cannabis market is experiencing significant growth, and there's an estimated 80 to 90,000 patients prescribed this. So that's like a lot of people, like 100,000 people basically, who could suffer from this just pathetic inadequacy. The industry is expected to move on more than double in value over the coming 4 years, to the current estimate of 258 million to over basically 558 million. So that's according to the analysis from a UK-based cannabis research company, Prohibition Partners, who do quite in-depth research. They charge for it as well and give it to all the major players. So like, it's not like it's the small ball shit. It's big stuff, lots of money involved. So, however, the vast majority of patients receive private prescriptions. So, with the NHS ready prescribing it, obviously, despite their legal status, patients typically pay between 150 and 300 patients per month for their medication. Flintshire councillor Paul Sylvester, who supported the motion, emphasised the employment discrimination angle as well. No one should be deprived of getting or keeping a job due to their legal treatment they receive for their health condition. So, yeah, again, what you're meant to do, like at work, if you need it, it's people getting sacked, people getting just looked down upon. If you look at that junkie going outside for their drugs, sort of thing, like while someone's standing in the canteen popping their morphine pills, like. So patient advocacy groups, Patients Can, also tried, which supported case with the motion as well, called on other legal authorities to adopt a similar protections. Whilst Westminster continues to avoid addressing the gap, not surprisingly, between legalisation and the practical patient rights. This grassroots strength provides the perfect springboard to ensure that this policy isn't just a conference victory or a conference victory, but a reality for all communities across the country. Our goal is to see that this adopted not only throughout the Wales, but as a gold standard for the remainder of the UK, or West Korea, as we are now known. The full text of the passed motion is available on the Liberal Democrats Wales website. So some positive stuff there, but again, pointing out all the negativity about the government and institutions themselves.
It's good. I don't think it's that's all good. So we're just going a little bit long. That's all, because we've still got one more article to get to. But I just wanted to mention it. But it's not just about these guys having this policy. You know, you don't have to just vote for these guys because they have this. But it kind of shifts the Overton window as well. That because now these guys are doing this stuff, the other parties are going to have to acknowledge it and maybe implement something similar. Especially if it becomes a popular,
or at least nod policy. And agree that, oh yes, if we get into power, we're possibly looking to doing this as well.
They're lying, of course. They would be lying.
Yeah,
they'd say they do it, but
they've got to nod and agree, haven't they? Obviously, is that going to winners' vote? Yes, or nod and agree, nod and agree.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy though that the cops aren't aware that it's legal and they shouldn't be confiscating people's medication and stuff. Because last time I checked, if I get stopped and I say I'm ignorant of the law, they're going to be like, well, fuck you, it doesn't matter. You're still under arrest. And yet...
they're going to tase you, cuff you, and then throw you in the back of a wagon, isn't they? It's like,
and throw you weed away.
Right. Yeah. But when they're like, oh, I didn't know, it's just like, come on, do better.
Yeah.
That's just...
Yeah. It's done on purpose, I think. It's part of the system. They want to make people afraid to even apply for the medicines because they don't want to be arrested.
Don't want to be hassled,
beat them with sticks. What do you mean you've got this?
Like with the whole housing association thing, like you'd sign contracts when you go and get your house that you're renting, saying that you're not allowed to use illicit substances, or otherwise you're in breach of your tenancy agreement. So if you're using cannabis, even if legally, you're still breaching your tenancy agreement and can stand being evicted for just using legal medicine, even though you jump through all the hoops. So people would still even not use it because of that aspect of things. Even completely legally. It's ridiculous, man.
That is crazy. It's like none of your goddamn business.
And let me just remind you, this has been going on since fucking 2018. On 8 years this year, this shit's been going on for, and it still hasn't been sorted. Ridiculous.
Still doing it. That's crazy.
Ridiculous. But anyway, one more. Let's get to this this last one here from Smee. What are you talking about, Smee?
We're going to be talking about the first conviction secured against a landlord for enabling cannabis factories in multiple properties.
Dun, dun, dun.
I wonder who he's renting them to.
Let's have a look, shall we?
So yeah, the Bedfordshire Police have secured its first conviction for drug conspiracy in relation to a landlord who enabled 7 properties to be used for the cultivation of cannabis, as force continues to crack down on organised crime. Mark Anthony, no relation, I'm sure, 59 owned 2 properties and was a private letting agent for a further 3, which he rented out for the cultivation of cannabis. There we go. Clevist Hoxhudge, I think. That's how
you give it
6 for that.
6, 6.
Yeah.
Decent.
Thank you.
Decent.
Next one,
Smith. Who was his friend?
Clevist Hoxhudge, 30,000. And Altin Jocker.
I would say Kujoka.
Kujoka. Yeah. Isn't the G silent? Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't care. Kujoka.
Joker.
Kujoka. So these 2 fellas with easy names, working alongside Anthony, were renting the properties which were located across Bedfordshire. Across Bedford and out of the county, and managing the everyday running of cannabis factories, including the people who worked in them.
Wow.
Hoxhudge was in control of 2 properties as the private letting agent. The investigation began following a warrant at the property in Bedford in 2022, where it was discovered there was a cannabis factory. An investigation was launched, and between 2022 and 2023, it transpired there was a network of individuals involved in the running of 7 related factories. Several warrants during this period saw more than 600 plants seized across the 3 of the properties, with cultivation paraphernalia recovered from other properties showing cultivation paraphernalia were used for waste space. So, yeah. Phone records demonstrated conversations between Anthony Hoxhadge and Gotcha, because they have got him, haven't they? Which highlighted their roles within the organised
Jesus.
crime network.
Jeez.
Anthony received financial gain from his role, allowing the properties to be used for cannabis cultivation, with Hodgehadge and Gotcha acting as middlemen in the network. On Friday, the 10th of April, following a trial at Huntington Crown Court, Anton of Anderell Drive, Bedford, was convicted of conspiracy to produce cannabis. On his arrest, Anthony was caught with almost £54,000 in cash, which he couldn't account for, and led to a further conviction of possession of criminal property.
Wow.
Hoxhadge of Sudley Walk, Bedford, pleaded guilty to conspiracy to produce cannabis on the second day of the trial, and Gotcha of Queen Street, Bedford, was convicted of conspiracy to produce cannabis. The case was investigated by specialist officers from Operation Costello, a Bedfordshire Police team born in the wake of Encrochat takedowns. I don't know what Encrochat takedowns were,
It's
but
going
I'm
to be one of
assuming that was
those
another
messaging
operation
apps,
that they did. Yeah.
probably.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, of course it is. The team target drug empires from all angles, including those who enabled these behaviours. Investigation Officer Summer Hill said these three men played a significant role in the cultivation of cannabis across Bedfordshire. So they was doing everyone a favour, right? And the case represents our first conviction of this kind against landlords for enabling large-scale drug production. Operation Costello places a strong focus on tackling everyone involved in the organised crime, taking a bottom-up approach. Aye.
Like Billy.
That targets... It really does take a bottom-up approach. I've seen it. And it targets issues such as antisocial behaviour, large-scale illegal cannabis production, and professional enablers who assist criminal groups by supplying materials or allowing their premises to be used. Organised crime and drugs underpin much of the violence and the exploitation we see, and we are committed to putting an end to this activity across Bedfordshire. Legalise it then.
You know what I
And
mean? It's like
regulate it.
committed to putting an end
Yeah.
to this activity that's been
No,
going
you're
on
not.
since the fucking 70s, and you've been committed that whole time, and it's still going on. Just admit it. You're shit at it. You can't stop it. Time to
No.
legalise and regulate properly, you fucking idiots. Just saying.
Who else is keeping their job as long as these fools when they've got as bad track record? Or maybe weathermen. Weathermen get it wrong as much as these guys, don't they?
Little lower
And still keep
stakes,
that, still
usually.
keep the job. So you know what I'm saying.
Know what I'm saying?
We need the community to partner with us on this goal by reporting what they see. Say something, see something, say something. You know what I mean? It's getting Big Brother. It could be as
yeah.
simple as reporting antisocial behaviour in the area. Behind that could lie a whole host of criminality that we are committed to tackling at the source. So why don't you get people out there on the beat like they used to be, instead of asking local residents to grass up on the criminal gangs who will do what? Just go, oh, that's okay, Mr. Resident, for grassing up on us.
Yeah.
We won't do your house in. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Fucking hell.
I do, yeah.
Policing this time.
Yeah.
Anyway, for more information about the Operation Costello, there's 10p. Go call someone who gives a shit. I mean, yeah.
Where you finding a phone to use for 10 pence nowadays? Jesus.
I know, right? That's showing my age a bit, that, isn't it?
Yeah. Fucking
So
hell,
yeah, if you
bro.
want to check out more on this, you can go check out their website. It's on this article somewhere, but you know, it'll just be full of, you know, rubbish again.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
It is. They're just blowing smoke up their own asses, aren't they? Oh, we are doing this, we are doing that, and like you said, Macky, what, since the 70s?
You know what I
You've
mean?
been
Like,
doing this shit?
we're going to start doing something about it now properly.
Yeah.
because
And now
we
they're
haven't
gonna
been
do
doing it
something.
right before. But yeah, we're on it now. Don't worry, sorting it now. Fuck off. It's just ridiculous, man. I just see all this kind of stuff whenever we see articles like this when they're shutting down big operations. It's like, you are competition to our sponsors and we need to shut you down. Because there's operations out there that are growing shitloads of cannabis completely legally in this country. Just those guys are not allowed to because they haven't passed the correct envelope to the correct person.
This is it.
You know what I mean? It's like, is cannabis growing illegal in the UK? No, it's not, because there's companies that are fucking doing it. It's just we're not allowed to do it. It's bullshit, man. Bullshit.
Yep.
Triggers
it does
me.
And fraud. It's triggered me. This whole article triggers me. It's like typically the police again, like literally passing the buck. You leaving it down to the resident. We all know in our areas who's growing weed, who's selling heroin, where the crackheads go hang out. We all know in the areas that we live because we've all got eyes and we all walk around. Do you know what I'm saying? And when you've lived in an area for as long as I've lived in my area, you get to know everything that's going on the estate. And I could clean this estate up in a day. But the police.
But like, it just opens up a vacuum and more people just move in on it. That's what I see.
And this is it. But yeah, the police act like they've got all this intelligence, this, that, and the other, and they have no idea what's going on. And that is why they ask us in the community, "Oh, we need you need to say this when you see it and stuff like that," because they ain't got a fucking Scooby-Doo. Not a clue, because they don't walk the streets anymore. They don't come around in the cars anymore. They're too frightened to tackle one person that needs 12 of them. So, triggered throughout this whole thing.
Triggered.
And,
calm down, Smee. Calm down.
And those
it's just
names.
a commercial.
Isn't it? You don't ever get triggered by any fucking articles, do you?
No, Try and be calm and calculated like Billy.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be cool. But yeah, just a decent article to bring out there. Just make people aware. But the police are doing their job, everybody. The police are doing their job. They've only just started,
And are the police now going to just see every landlord like this? Because I know there's some landlords out there that don't know there's criminal activity going on in places.
Yeah.
And when they find out that, it costs the landlord a shed load of money because they've gutted the house and torn it to pieces. So are they now police going to be like thinking, "Oh, we can double prosecute here and get our numbers right up, make it look this by prosecuting a fucking just a normal everyday Joe who's got like renting a fucking flat out on the side?" Pisses me off. Let's move on.
Man.
Sorry.
Yeah, so there we go. That's all the news articles there. Just it's 4:20. If you're listening to this on the download, then it's already 4:20. Make sure you head over to Percy'sGrowroom.com and get involved in some of the giveaways we're doing over there. We've got Heads or Tails competitions that started. You can win some Jack Herrera beans from Seedsman, which we've been on about a lot over the years because it's a great strain. And we've got the Photoperiod and the Autoflower inversion, so you can win 5 beans of those if you come and get involved. Yeah, great strain. Yes, but that's it. Any more forum news? It's going to be promotions on 420 as well, so keep an eye out for those tomorrow if you're around. Anything else? So that's it.
Yeah, I believe that's it.
Smoke break then. Let's go. Where's the button for that? It's over there. There we go. Smoke break. All right, nice. Oh, look, and I'll put the fucking the spinner on the screen so I wasn't going to forget. Okay, we've got 2 different wheel spins to do. We've got one for Discord and one from the forum, right? And this is to win a packet of 3 lemon tree from Barney's Farm. Great strain. So we have the Discord one first. We've got to do that first with 26 entries. And we gave it like 3 hours for people to enter, because if you leave it open for long enough, it's just loads of people who are not active users of the forum or active users of Discord will be like jumping in, taking over. Then it goes out to somebody who's not even part of the community. You know what I mean? And I like to try and avoid that. That triggers me. That does, everybody. If anybody who's been listening for a long time knows how much that triggers me. This is why I don't like to do random YouTube giveaways, because you'll see the viewership double as soon as the giveaway begins, and somebody who isn't even part of the community will win shit, and that pisses me off. But anyway, going on a tangent, so you just open up the giveaway, like, quick, get your name on this list, and we'll do a smoke break spin for a thing and win some stuff. So then people enter. So we've got 26 over here from Discord. We're just going to spin it, and whoever this lands on will win a packet of the beans. Nice, right? Yes.
Couldn't be
Very
any
nice.
simpler.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
nice.
want Mook to win. That's what I'm saying. All my money's on Mook.
Okay.
That's where I'm
Anybody else
going.
want to make a bet here? Who am I gonna pick? I'm gonna pick Great Racer. Let's go for Great Racer. That'll be my pick. You want to choose one,
Ah.
Margaret? Can you see the names?
Yeah, I can see the names. Let's go for Chip.
Nice.
Chip.
Smee, you got a horse
I
to
was
bet
actually-
on here?
I was going to go for Chip because he was on top of Mook, but I'll go for
Oh.
Viking because he's under.
All right.
Under
Under
Mook.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Down
Yeah.
under.
So we've
Down
got like
under.
a sandwich going on. A Chip Mook
Oh,
Viking
right.
sandwich.
Mook Viking with
So here we go. Let's see who it picks. 3, 2, 1. Spin the wheel. Let's go. Who's it gonna be? Who's it's gotta be
That's
Cookie
gay,
Grow.
that is.
How
Cookie
am I in
Grow.
No, mate.
There we go. There we go, Cookie Grow. Send me a message. He's gonna be in bed right now because he's in Australia. But yes,
Someone
Cookie
go
Grow.
slap him, throw some water over him or
Yeah,
something.
be
Wake him up.
quick,
So you
quick! You want some beans?
fart on his face.
Nice,
How-
brilliant, brilliant, Billy.
How is?
Well.
I'm sure I just saw my name on there. How did that happen? I didn't. Enter.
Because you fucking you liked the comment.
I didn't. I just
did.
went. Oh, did I? I didn't mean to then.
Yeah, but you did.
My bad.
So I had to add you because if
Okay.
you weren't there and you didn't see yourself, you'd be like, "Why isn't my name on there?" And the whole thing's void. You know. So
Oh,
what can you
okay,
do?
fair
What can
enough.
you do? So next one. This one is just from the people on the forum. These are the forum members who entered the competition. Same thing. 3 Barney's Farm lemon tree to win. I'll spin the wheel. Let's go. 3. Does
I won't
anybody
be
want to?
picking none of these? No, they're all cucks. Leave them.
Yeah. Cookie Grows on the list as
Yeah.
well here.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
That's
my
what I mean.
gosh.
Like,
Let's hope he
yeah,
doesn't win twice. That'll be shenanigans. I'm going to
yeah.
go for Fire Top because I could just drop the Caesar at him around the corner. Don't need to post
And I
them.
didn't. And I didn't.
Look at John Colson's name, John Crullison.
Yeah.
See how
I'll go
bad
for
we
that
spelled
one.
that is?
Spell how badly spelled. I'm going for the misspelled one and just
Okay.
to show Macky he's a spaz.
And
Okay,
again,
thanks,
I didn't.
Billy.
It's all right.
Okay.
Anyone you choosing here, Margaret?
Oh, yeah.
Smee's going to just
Savant.
go for himself, isn't he?
Savant's
Come on.
nice, good
I
choice.
didn't do this one either, Billy. I don't know how my name's on
You
this one as
commented
well.
on the thread.
I said,
It's
good
like-
luck, everybody.
Yeah,
Bro,
but exactly.
it says
That's all it takes.
It says
comment
that
on
you
the
should read
thread
it,
to
yeah,
enter.
read it
Jesus.
I
properly.
don't read the
Jesus.
rules. I just
Yeah,
say
exactly.
things.
So yeah, exactly. So,
Anyway,
So,
spinning this
If I
wheel.
win,
Read it properly.
if I win, respin this.
Okay then.
No.
3, 2, 1, spin. Let's go.
you should make
Gosh.
Smee sit and spin himself.
Oh,
if he wins.
oh, it's gonna be Cookie Grow again. Oh my
Woo!
goodness.
No way.
Oh, getting
Wow.
cookie.
Nah,
Well-
it's
Never
fucking
happened.
rigged.
That's the
I
way
reckon
the
Mac-
cookie crumbles.
He's got a magnet in his ring. Do you know the old magnet ring trick on the tables?
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's what he's done. Yeah.
Sure,
yeah.
Billy. Sure.
Yeah.
But there you go. That
That's what I
reduces postage. I can just send both out to him. There you go.
That's
Nice.
easy done. You just put it
Nice.
on the side of the monitor. That's what you're in it. Come on, think about it.
Yeah, just blowing at it. There we
Yeah,
go.
no,
Yeah, I had my
no.
laptop turned on an angle.
Yeah, I suppose
So-
Macky does. He loves blowing on it,
Lucky
so
my
that probably is
vine.
true.
Brilliant. Thanks, Billy. But yeah, there's got to be more giveaways, everybody. Head over to percysgrowroom.com. Tomorrow I'm going to launch a couple more giveaways, all right? Just a nice couple of easy things to enter. I'll just give it away by the end of the day. Won't make it one of the long ones. But we also do have the Jack Herrer giveaway as well, where we're going to play heads or tails for that. That will be going on for a few days. So get involved, man. Get involved. Get
Right.
over to Percy's.
Just
Get involved.
say
Get stuck in.
congratulations on the win, and hopefully you receive it by Christmas.
Yes, indeed.
Shots fired.
It's so funny, Billy.
Pew 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 pew.
Fucking hell. But yeah, true. I am shit postage. There's no secret to that. Yeah. I just hate going to the post office. It's so lame going to the post office. I've told you all before.
Why is it lame to go to the post office?
Because they're just so inefficient. It's every time I go there, right? It'll be
Uh-huh.
like, oh, on lunch break. And it's
Don't go at lunch.
But I don't go at lunch. I'll go at a random
It's like
time
3 in the
every time.
afternoon.
And every time I go there, it's got a fucking card up saying on lunch break. And then sometimes they want loads of info from you. Sometimes they want none.
Yeah.
It's just a farce every time. It's like to be in the USA. You guys in the USA, you don't know how lucky you are to be able to just have these mailboxes where you put the mail in and put the tag up so they know to collect stuff and they take shit. We got to actually go out and deal with people who are
You don't have a
incompetent.
mailbox?
No, you got to go to the
You don't have
post
mailboxes?
office. No, it
To
has to
mail
get
a letter?
yeah, you got to go to the post office to mail a letter. Yeah.
Oh.
You
okay,
got to
well,
fill
that's
out a
weird.
customs form because he's going to Australia. I'm going to have to fill out a customs form, let them know what's inside it,
Like you're
put
just
name
talking about
address on it.
regular letter mail.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
That was-
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. It's a real fuck around, man. It's a real pain in the fucking ass.
Like if
telling
I'm
you.
sending letter mail
25
to
minutes.
a place, I just have to have a stamp,
Yeah,
an international stamp on it.
that would
As
be
long
nice.
as as long as it fits in the mailbox thing for regular letters.
No, proper mess
Well,
around
you
for
guys
us.
are backwards there. Holy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Around
Calm
mess
down,
around.
Margaret. That's a bit racist. That is.
Is it though? I don't
Yes,
know.
it is. It is.
No, I
That's
I
right.
thought I was just
Being
going
racist
along with your
towards us
vibes.
British people with our different methods. Yeah.
Of post.
Of postage, yeah, and
Right.
many other things. You know,
Yeah.
it's difficult to post here, like post letters and post on social networks because you got to be careful what you say as well. Because if you post something that could be deemed as offensive by somebody, you can be arrested for that.
Yeah.
True story.
Yeah, that's a tricky one.
Not even joking. True story. Messed up. But yes, I will get that sent out, Cookie Grow, at my earliest convenience. But Jesus, yeah, it's a mess around. But man, I just hate doing the postage. It's a pain in the ass. Well, 420, are you doing any giveaways over on Bite Me, Margaret? Are you doing anything?
I'm not actually. Probably should, but it's a little late to be planning anything.
I just do something random.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually do have a bunch of things to mail out to people.
Oh,
I have to go to
you're
the
one of them
post
as well.
office.
Everybody judging me. Fucking hell. This is what we have
I won't
to
have
deal
to
with
fill
here.
out customs forms though. So
Yeah, I've never sent anything internationally until like just recently, and it was a 25-minute ordeal just filling in all the shit to send
Mhm.
something somewhere, and expensive. What?
Yeah.
Fucking-
It's like, remember we used to do mugs? We used to print out
Yeah.
mugs with people's names on and
Yep.
shit, send them out to people. We got our own mug printer and all this shit. But it come to the point where it was $25 to ship a mug from the UK to the USA. $25
$25.
just to ship the fucking thing.
Wow.
Yep.
Ridiculous, man.
That's crazy.
So we stopped doing that because it's just not cost effective.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Madness, man. Madness. And you know, you don't want to be like, oh, you got to pay fucking 35 quid for this fucking mug.
For the $10 mug.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that stopped. It's madness, man. The UK, I've said this many times this week, it seems to be the reoccurring sentence. But the UK is a third world country with a first world reputation. But that reputation is degrading quickly. People are waking up to it. People are realizing now, like, hold on, they actually have no fucking idea what they're doing over there.
Yep.
Jesus.
Clowns.
I mean, the government's doing an absolutely fantastic job and bringing us out of a really bad place, and we're going to
Yeah.
be far better off eventually when we're net neutral and not using any energy, and we just use energy on a Thursday
Exactly.
to charge.
Where
phone
would
or
we be
something.
without the government? We would
Exactly.
be
Just
unsafe.
gonna
Smoking
correct
weed
you on
that
that.
is out
Yep.
of sell by date.
Yeah,
Jesus,
very
we'd be
true.
fucking-
Innit?
Mhm.
So much danger. So much danger.
Grown in living
That is
soil
all prey now
organically
to our
and everything.
corporate overlords.
Can't be having that filth.
Mm.
That's right. That's right. And don't
Yeah.
forget to get rid of your dogs. That's
Yeah.
Oh yes, we
So,
must
yeah.
do that for
Yeah.
the safety of Canadian geese.
Yes, for the livestock. For the livestock, everybody.
Yeah.
Think
Yeah.
of the livestock. Think of the livestock. Be a
The
vegan.
goats.
I think of them.
Anyway.
I think of them on a plate with some roast potatoes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yum,
now he's
fucking
talking.
yum.
Nah, he's fucking talking.
Man, I went out.
Livestock
I had
is-
some lovely
livestock
food
is
yesterday.
food.
Cooked
when-
in goose fat too, you cunt, which your dog
Yeah.
just killed.
Oh, yeah. Know what I'm saying? Yeah. No, I'm saying, no, I'm saying. No, I'm saying.
Say.
Yeah, when I had some nice food yesterday, I went to some curry house with some social event I was doing, and yeah, man, I found some great food. We had to wait 2 hours for the shit to cook. But there you
Wow.
2 hours.
2 hours, man.
That's how long it takes them to
Whoa.
cook
It
it with
was
a
a
feet,
big
you see.
party.
Yeah.
No, Smee, this is not the group chat, Smee. This is the podcast. We're live, Smee.
They have to grow their
Sorry.
toenails out a little bit longer before they stir.
Oh.
They're the
Yeah.
ladles, mate. That's how they
Yeah,
get
exactly.
it out on the plate.
Now I'm thinking the food wasn't that good. Cheers.
Exactly. Exactly. That was our
Fuck.
whole point. Yeah. Well done,
Jesus.
Smee.
Thanks
See,
for that,
Three
Smee.
Nugs agrees.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, see.
Agreed, Smee. And he's probably agreed to something else.
I don't care. I'm taking
I
it.
don't care. I'm taking
That's
it.
right.
Screen grab.
That's right. Yeah, you two love to take it.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I was
are
waiting
we-
for that. I was waiting for that.
Are we
That's why
ready
we
for
corrupted him and got him onto Minecraft.
Only from you, Macky. Only.
Yeah. Margaret, you have to join us on Minecraft soon.
Yes, I know.
You're
I
the
know.
last
When I'm
surviving
prepared to
panel
develop
member,
A new
Yeah.
not on
addiction.
Minecraft.
Yeah.
You'd
It's
probably
alien
love it as
friendly,
well.
don't worry.
You'd probably
And
love
then
it.
come
Probably would,
January,
that's
you
what
can
I'm
have
afraid
a
of.
Minecraft tolerance break. You can add Minecraft to the tolerance breaks.
Yeah, that's all right. We've got to take a few days off Minecraft. Crazy talk. Crazy talk.
Yeah,
What are you
right.
going to do with your goats? You need to feed them. But anyway,
is that what you do?
should we?
It's getting that wrong.
Yeah, that's not what it looks like, is it?
Yeah, it's
So-
not the end you feed them in, Billy.
Yeah, it's actually. I've got that wrong.
Jeez. Should we go on to the grow guide so we don't go on more random tangents to
I
get more
think you should,
flags
yeah.
and
And
offended
Quicker you
listeners?
do that, the
And they
better.
don't have a
Yeah.
diet of sausage. You know what I'm saying? They eat wheat.
You love a diet of sausage. Let's
Yum,
go
yum.
on to the grow guides. Let's do it. So we did a few episodes not so long back where we discussed like the most popular strains of all time. I can't remember what the exact title of it was, but we did 2 episodes and everybody really enjoyed those. So we also wanted to do something for autos as well, talk about some auto strains, but also throw in there a little bit of knowledge about autos, about where they came from, how they evolved, that kind of thing. You know, because some people don't know how this happened. Autos haven't always been a thing. They came around like just a couple of decades ago. And now loads of people are growing them, and they're really good. But they used to be really shit. So that's what we're talking about today: the evolution of autoflowers, where they came from, how they evolved, how they went from bad stuff to decent stuff to really good shit. Yeah, so that's what we're talking about. So I don't know whether many people know, but autoflowers, they come from this this type of cannabis called the Ruderalis. And they have indica, sativa. Ruderalis is another type. There's lots of different variations of cannabis, and Ruderalis is one of those. And these things, they grow up in Siberia and Russia, in colder climates where they don't get a lot of light, and they will just trigger their flowering sequence depending on how old they are, rather than what light cycle they are getting. So yeah, and this was discovered. I don't know when it was discovered, but when it was discovered, they started to implement that into cannabis, trying to breed the gene from the Ruderalis into photoperiod cannabis to try and get the decent shit. Because the Ruderalis plant, though it has a fast life cycle, there were small plants. It didn't produce a lot of flowers. You know, they wasn't very potent. Pretty shit. Just, you know, it was cannabis, but it wasn't cannabis like we knew it to be. It was just a cannabis family member. So they had that one nice trait of being able to flower under its age rather than the light cycle, but everything else was shit. So they had to try and get that good trait from it and put it with the good traits of the photoperiod plants. And there was some breeding done, but it took a while, and eventually we did get them. But those early autos were not great, you know what I mean? Did anybody grow any of those autoflowers back in the day, the early days autos?
No.
I didn't, but I knew someone who did, and like you did have to laugh at them a little bit.
Yeah. It was bad. It was bad. Smee, you ever grow any early day autos?
No, I didn't. But when I saw this come up on the show notes, I decided to have a look at some photos of autos back in the day compared to autos now, and yeah, it's night and day.
Yeah, it was so bad.
Yeah. But so, you know, that's how wheat started before
Yeah.
it turned to Sensimilia and got rid of the seeds. You know, so wheat started off shit, and then we managed to get female, and then it got better and better. So just autos are a little bit later to the scene, aren't they? But they're catching up now.
Yeah, man, they definitely have caught up because I was growing autos when they first came out, and it wasn't great. There was different strains, like some of them would be really small, but then it was just inconsistent as well. And I remember growing this one specific, I think it was called Sweet Mango or something like that, and it was just so fucking bad. It was bad in every way. It was
Bad
like
in every way.
in
Okay.
every way. It grew massive, lanky, bushy, took up loads of room, had loads of small buds on it. There was no flavor to it. It wasn't very potent. It was so fucking bad.
Okay,
And it put
that
me
does
off
sound bad.
autos for years. I was like, I ain't growing autos again. They're shit. But then, genetics just keep on improving all the time. And over 10, 15 years, it's just got better and better. And then I tried went back to autos to try the Dutch Passions Auto Colorado cookies, recommended from Tony from Dutch Passion. I was like, nah, mate, you got to try this. Grow this 100 days. You're going to love it. And I did love it. And it's probably one of the most common autos that I've grown is the Auto Colorado cookies from Dutch Passion. Grown it over and over again because it was just so fucking good. Yeah, so things have definitely changed. But let's talk about some of these, the first Autoflowers. You want to talk about those, Margaret? What came first?
Yeah, it sounds like the Lowrider came first. Is that the very first
Chicken or the egg?
autoflower?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
one of
Yeah.
the very first ones was the Lowrider. Yeah,
I don't think I've ever tried that. The breeder was Joint
you wouldn't
Doctor.
have, no.
No, it was that bad, was it?
And it just didn't yield very much, really.
Right.
It was mainly, when people want to do stealth grows, just to try and grow a
Right.
small plant that nobody's going to know about. The
Yeah.
Lowrider was great for that because it was just small, not very stinky, can keep it hidden out of the way, but you're going to produce some cannabis. But you wouldn't have been, there wouldn't have been a lot of it, and it wasn't good enough either. So it's not like anybody's going to be selling
Quarter
it.
of wank.
Yeah.
So it was a Mexican Ruderalis crossed with the Northern Lights and crossed with the Williams Wonder. First widely recognized autoflower. As you were just saying, it was tiny, very fast, but low yield and potency.
Mhm.
But did give some proof that autoflowers could work. And then there came the Lowrider 2, which was new and improved. So you had, with that version, slightly better yield, more stable genetics, and better flavor. But then it obviously doesn't say here anything about better potency.
Mhm, mhm.
So, or bigger
'Cause
plants, I
it's
guess.
shit.
Just slow improvements for each generation. Isn't
Yeah.
it? The breeders actually put the work in back in the day and slowly
When you
made
say
the
back
strain
in the
better.
day, what are you talking, like, when was this?
Early
When?
2000s, maybe.
Okay, so like
Yeah.
20 years ago,
Yeah, maybe a
give or
little
take.
longer. Late 90s, early 2000s.
Right.
Yeah, nearly 30 years ago they would have started doing it. Which is
I
mad
guess
to
then
think.
you had the early auto AK-47 and the auto White Dwarf, which was mid 2000s autos.
Yeah.
And they were still pretty early attempts to bring proper strain genetics into autos, but they were inconsistent, but did show that there was some progress.
Hmm.
So it was an improvement from your lowrider varieties.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's it. It was an improvement. It was smokable at that point. You could use it.
Mhm.
It was okay. It wasn't terrible, but you would still definitely choose Photoperiods over autos at this point.
So it's suggesting like autoflowers are like a novelty more than a serious growing option. So besides maybe some guerrilla growers, who was growing this stuff?
It's those guys who wanted
Was
to
it
grow
just
a
the
short
breeders
plant that.
themselves?
Yeah, well, partly that, yeah, but it was useful because you have to find out what works for you when you're growing cannabis, And some people, autos were just the best option because they would grow small, not very smelly, So back then, some people would grow PC tower grows, like you get a PC tower, but
Yeah.
in there they'd put a light in there, they'd have the PC fan running, and they'll have just two tiny plants grown in a PC tower for ultimate stealth grow. So those kind of autos were ideal for shit back then, And then there was the speed of things as well. As they grow faster, you can have a plant done from germination up until flowering and
They're going to
harvest
be
in 70 to 80 days.
that small though. You could almost just do like a little micro grow.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't even need to
Mhm.
do autos, but
Yeah, man.
yeah.
It was good.
Well,
It was
they're
good.
much better now, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, I would say, and I have said many times that now I don't think you can really distinguish the difference between an auto and a photo period bud. You might be able to tell the difference on the plant, maybe, but if you got dry buds in a bag and one's autos and one's photo period, and you were like, smoke these, tell me which one's the auto, tell me which one's the photo period. No, it's got to be the same as chance, just people just guessing. You know, it's not going to be, oh, you definitely tell this one's the photo period, because you can't. You can't. They're exactly the same nowadays. There's very little difference, nothing recognizable, I would say. But that's just my opinion. I think autos are fucking awesome now. You know?
Yeah, I like them too. I like them for outdoors because my season's shorter. Well, yeah.
Yeah. So good. So good. Yeah, man. And it was a bit of a novelty to start with, for sure. But nowadays, so good. But there was a turning point when that started to happen, when it went from autos where you don't even want to try this shit, it's really bad, to something which you're like, yeah, I might give this shit a go. You want to talk about the turning point when autos got good there, Smee?
Yeah, we can do. It's definitely where the story shifts. And what's changed is in the breeding, back crossing with strong photoperiod strains, selecting for potency, yield, and terpene profiles, and establishing genetics properly.
Stabilizing.
Stabilizing the genetics properly and getting them to where they need to be, so that it's it's across the board. So, as we all know, some growing certain plants put seeds in. One grows tall, one grows short, one grows fat, one grows thin. Well, they managed to start limiting that somewhat and getting it all stabilized into the genetics. And the result was autos started producing really quality buds, like Macky's saying. Now you can, I've got an bit of Autoflower, and you seriously, you can't tell the difference. You know, once it's cured, once it's ground up, and so the yields increased significantly and the potency increased, which obviously is what people want when growing, especially in West Korea, because it's the illegality of it. You know, if you're going to grow it, you might as well grow a lot, not a little. So Autoflowers started to become more of an option, and because of this, this is where the breeders really started to shine. And you have some key breeders in the Autoflowers. And I was never massive on Autoflowers, but even when I was a fan listening to the show, I knew that Mephisto genetics was one of the best.
The best.
Amount that it was talked about. Yeah,
the best.
like
That not one off.
as you said.
Yeah, my opinion, and the opinion of many other people too.
No, I don't mean that as a knock. I mean, like, as you said,
of course, yeah,
the best. And not growing autos like you have, Mackie. I would take your word for that, because for the amount that I know that you've grown, they have to be good, for you to praise them as they do.
Yeah, so good, man.
And this is why they stand out. You know, they focus purely on autos. They built a cult following.
I'm in that cult. Is that what it is? Am I in the Mephisto cult?
You're in a cult, Macky.
Yes.
The Autoflower cult.
Yes. It makes me feel wanted. You know how nice that is? Sorry, Smee.
Hell yeah. No, mate. Don't apologize. So yeah, they focus just on the autos themselves, known for stability, flavor, and potency. And the strain highlights a sour stomper, which is heavy in the resin and really strong terps. So you're getting those smells that they never used to be able to create. And then you've got Forum Stomper, GSC influence, very potent, and Three Bears OG. It's a solid, reliable
that's
hybrid.
one of their new ones, that is.
But there are other companies out there that also, do some decent Autoflower strains, and pretty good at what they do. Fast Buds, they help push autos into the mainstream. They focus on yield and potency.
See, my problem, Fast Buds, we might get sued. I don't know. But my opinion is Fast Buds have never really appealed to me. I've grown a few of theirs, and I mean, they grew plants. Definitely, they were plants, but they weren't very good. And I just like to say that Fast Buds are more of, for me, in my opinion, Fast buds are more like a clothing range that sells seeds that you can also grow. But yeah,
Oh, interesting.
their merchandise are better than their plants, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I haven't had a good experience with fast buds and stuff, so maybe other people have. But yeah, fast buds are okay.
I've seen a couple of people pop them in the forum on Grow Diaries and stuff like that. But other than that, I've not really heard a lot of talk about fast buds. I heard the next one, Dutch Passion. I hear Billy talk about those.
Yeah,
Dutch Passion.
they're good too.
Yeah, one of the earliest companies to take on Autoflowers seriously, and they've got a strong reputation for stability. So, and again, this is something that you want. You want a nice, stable genetic because then you know you're going to get uniform grow across
and specifically from Dutch Passion, like I said, everybody, if you want to try an auto, go for Mephisto. But if you can't afford the Mephisto ones, because the Mephisto is quite expensive, Dutch Passion do some good shit as well. Specifically, the Auto Colorado Cookies, it's called. Great strain, man. They have a Cinderella Jack as well, which is really nice. Cinderella 99 crossed with Jack Hera. Fucking beautiful strain as well. They have Orange Bud Auto, and the Orange Bud's great too. So Dutch Passion got a nice selection, good prices, good strain. But Seedsman, because, you know, I've been doing the Autoflower thing since Autoflowers was shit. So I've seen the whole lot of it evolve over time. And Seedsman were also, they had shitloads of really good autos as well. So Seedsman do a good job too.
Yeah.
Well, that's just my opinion.
Really,
of course, just the experience.
Any really long-term established seed banks and stuff like that, they're gonna
Barney's,
produce.
Barney's Farm too.
They're gonna now be producing some really good quality auto seeds for you to grow. You know, back in the day, not so much, but now it's catching up. It's catching up, and that's what that's just brings me on to this takeaway from this is that they've stopped being a gimmick. They're a legit option for growth now. You know, you can fill a 4x4 with those as easy as you can fill 4x4 of Photoperiods. And some would say easier, quicker, faster.
Yeah, it just depends on what you want, doesn't it?
This is it.
I used to, back in the day, I had, you know, when I smoked a ridiculous amount of cannabis, and so did the wife. I had to grow so much cannabis to keep us both covered, you know? So I would start to grow with 8 plants in a 4x4. I'd have 4 autos and 4 Photoperiods. And then as they grew, it comes to the point where the tent gets full. So I'd open up the other 4x4 and I'd move the 4 Photoperiods into the 4x4 and put that on 12-12, but leave the 4 autos in the veg tent on 18-6. And then you'd get the harvest from that like 6 weeks later, while the other plants still got 10 weeks to go. You know what I mean? And it gives you a nice little extra harvest in the middle of your main harvest being done. So that was a beautiful way to do things, man. It just yielding nice amount of weed, but was also good quality too. You know? So just 8 plants rotating like that. Because what you can do as well is with the autos, because they're on 18-6, is when it comes close to the end, harvest 1, leave the other 3 going for another 2-3 weeks. It's up to you. But when that one's down, you got a lot of space there. Just fucking pop 4 more beans, put them in the middle. You know what I mean? And they're happy to go with the other plants growing around them at 18-6. It adds versatility. You're not so strict on 12-12. You know, there's things you can do with the autos in the tent. So if you figure it out right, it's a beautiful way to grow, man.
You could even do a perpetual just in one tent with autos, because you could have like a 4x4 living soil bed, say, in a 4x4, and you could have 4 plants in, but you put them all in that staggered. So because it's always
put
on
a
the
new
same
one
light
in
cycle,
every
8-6,
2 weeks.
put a new one in every 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and every 2-3 weeks you're cropping. I think that's how you do it, innit, Billy?
Yeah, that's how I do it basically, but on a bigger scale sort of thing.
Well,
Not big scale, but just I have 8 plants in flower normally at one time.
There you go. You see, and then if you're on a
perpetual
if
growing,
it takes 8 weeks flowering, and you've got 1 a week, haven't you?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's what I aim for as such.
Yeah, man. Autos are great. Definitely try some out. But let's talk about some of the modern strains that we have now, which we would recommend people go out and try those. But you want to talk about those?
Yeah, obviously there's like all the new strains, and I think also Royal Queen Seeds have some good new strains as well as like some of the originals. So like I think they're a stable brand. So it says here as well, Auto Colorado Cookies from Dutch Passion. Like Macky said earlier.
I haven't heard of them.
Plant. So, yeah. So the lineage from that is Girl Scouts, cookies, and auto blueberry, and it's probably one of the best ones you could grow, to be honest.
So good.
Just because it's consistent as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Dutch Passion do probably have some of the best plants, Photoperiods as well as autos. So obviously they're getting good lineage to then make their autos. So that's why you go with good established breeders, just because they can back across and they know what they're doing with that type of thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And because it stands out, just because it's the flavour as well, isn't it? It's a nice strong effect. It has that indica punch to it, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And it does look like a photo period where it's frosty, quite dense, isn't it? Anyway,
Yeah.
I've seen. I know someone who used to grow this quite regularly as well. Not just you, but this is one of their autos of choice, and it's like. Yeah, the smell is all it maintains with it. Because some weeds, the smell just dips. If you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I find that strangely enough that this one holds quite well actually, and the AKs used to hold quite well. The old AK autos. So and the terp, it says a terp again, and the reliable performance again. It's like I said, it is a premium auto.
Mm-hmm.
So and there's no advertisement there. That's just personal experience as well.
Night and day compared to the original autos. You know, it's
in
so
fact,
different.
This is one of the ones when I lived in Gran Canaria, the club used to grow on a consistent basis because it used to, everyone would always buy it. It'd be part of their 5-10 grand package, pretty much. It'd be the Auto Colorado, because growing it in Gran Canaria, they're just like a constant cycle of knocking them out, if you know what I mean. It's just there. You don't have to worry about like the photo periods. It grows out in the lovely sun.
Yeah. So
it's like, yeah, man, it's one of that and green crack. But the green crack wasn't an auto, which we used to smoke out there. Was the two popular ones. So this and green crack used to complement each other quite well. So it's got a Mephisto sour stomper, which if you have smoked, which I have had a couple of times, which is, and I've heard a lot about it as well, it is meant to be one of the best. It says insane resin production, which is good if you're making hash, obviously, pressing it as well. But obviously it's going to be nice to smoke. It's a strong, fruity, gassy terps, very consistent plant as well. So, which is why they've got the Forum Stomper as well, because that again, what was the original? Was it the Forum Stomper the first, and they got the sour from that?
I'm not sure. Don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, the stompers are quite stomper. They will stomp you basically. It's got Girl Scout cookies with the Forum Stomper is the profile that kicks out, which is their sort of, I suppose, it would rival the Auto Colorado cookies from Dutch Passion as well. So maybe cookies just make the profiles go well with the autos for some reason, maybe. Because you've got the Gorilla Glue from Fast Buds, which is good. I've grown that personally. Actually, it's quite a nice one, and I agree with Macky. Fast Buds ain't as they're a brand for more than, but they're consistent and they're quite good. They're not as good as Mephisto, and I don't think they're as good consistency with obviously Dutch Passion, even Royal Queen Seeds. But they are a good brand. So because they are
great merchandise brand.
That's what I mean.
Nice
they're brand. They're a
badges
great
and
brand.
hats.
Yeah, a great brand. Yeah,
packaging.
And, yeah.
But that's just my opinion. I mean, I've seen people
exactly.
grow with fast buds and do a great fucking job of it, but
Yeah,
it just hasn't worked out for
exactly,
me. That's all. I'm sure they're great. I don't want to put down anybody's work, you know, because I'm sure these guys work hard on their stuff.
Yeah,
but it
totally.
just hasn't worked out well for me. That's all.
Yeah, same here. Dutch Passion is another one here. Was their Auto Ultimate, which I've not grown or smoked, but if it's on the list, it obviously stands out for some reason. I would say the big yields, but Dutch Passion have always that the Auto Ultimate. That's probably like come from the big bud and stuff, isn't it? Probably lineage from around that or something.
Yeah, I would say
It's a strong or the who was it? Who done the industrial? It was called. I think that was the Gran Canary guys, Spanish ones as I was talking about earlier. Dynafem, I think Dynafem Industrial.
Oh yeah, remember Dynafem?
Yeah. It's a shame they're not ain't as bad as much as they used to be, because
they got shut down, didn't they? Remember, I think they got shut down for fraud.
Yeah. No, it's because of the banking. because they put money in their bank quite legally, and the bank was like, no, that's illegal because it's cannabis. Yeah, but we sold seeds. It's like, no, but it's cannabis. You're trading cannabis. It's like, oh,
a few
fuck
years
off,
ago,
like,
innit? A few years ago, they started fucking around there. Stupid.
Should have banked with
Yeah.
HSBC and
Stupid
called
as-
themselves a Mexican
Yeah,
cartel. They'd have
that's
been
what I
laughing.
mean.
Would have been
Yeah,
fine.
exactly. Yeah,
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Throw that in there.
Sorry.
Fucking hell, Smee.
Allegedly. Sorry,
I
Smee.
don't need no trees. Thank you very much. So the discussion angles is, have autos finally caught up with the photo periods? And what makes a top tier auto now? What do you reckon would make a top tier auto?
I do think that photos have caught up with autos have caught up with photos, and in some cases they do.
They're like
them.
they're like a run down on the ladder. But if you're doing, I would say if you're doing a consistent grow in a consistent space, I think autos could be better because they're more. They're more
growing outdoors
stable
as well.
in if you especially if you live somewhere like Gran Canaria, like I said, to grow autos when you're getting like that sort of sunlight, and like because they're on 12-12 all the time, and with the climate out there, it's sun all year round. Like you can just constantly have them in growing, and they produce really well because I've smoked them personally for like 3 months, constantly smoking it. It's like, this is actually good medication. So, and it's some of the nicest weed I've smoked because obviously it's grown in the ground, in dirt, organically grown. It's like, you really do taste the sun. You taste the earth and the sun, man. You taste the planet you're living on, which is that's how I used to think about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Which is,
What do you think, Mark? Do you think autos caught up with the photos?
But this is the last one. I think
Yeah,
we'll still
I
discuss
do.
this one because this should have been John's point, really. It's like, where do you think they win? Because it says points on there, Macky. Read them out. And
what
do you think?
Oh, yeah, for this when it's highlighted in blue like that, that's for me to talk about, Billy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Guess what I'm saying, Macky. What do you think? So it's like, carry on. That's like that's
you
segue
don't have to
for you
introduce
now
me
talk.
to my
Yeah, I was
sections,
trying
bro.
to.
I introduce you to your sections. You know what the fuck is going on here, son? What the fuck is this?
Do you not know how this works?
Yeah, do you know how this works? It's taking over, mate. It's gone. It's a revolution.
Shit.
Do you not see the
Shit.
Chat are finally on my side? Let's go.
Anyway,
Take over.
as Billy was saying, preemptively, autos now equal to photo periods. Yeah, it's an interesting discussion point, and I think it like anything, it's just nice to have the variety and the versatility. You pick what works best for you. For some people, autos are going to be by far the best choice. For other people, it's going to be photo periods are the best choice, and for others, it's not just going to be photo periods, but be feminized or it'll be regular. Everybody has to find their own thing and figure out what works best for them. And I think in many cases, autos, like I said, are not only equal to photo periods, but do surpass them in some aspects as well. What do you think about this, Margaret?
Yeah, I love them. I mean, I don't see much difference. The only time if I've grown them and they haven't turned out that great, it's more because of my own skill than because of the autoflower seeds. So,
yeah.
I'd just like to say that where it says like where autos win, the top two, speed and simplicity, which is where I think they do take over some photo periods in certain growing conditions and places. That's where they surpass having a photo period. If you want some speed and simplicity, some autos are just like, yeah, man, that is the only way to go, sort of thing. Which is strange, really. After all the, like we say, we've gone from Lowryder to now saying, no, man, auto instead in that condition, that place there. It's mad.
And it says here as well, photos still win with bigger yields, which is arguable. It depends on the strain. Because I've had, Bubble Hawk. Remember Bubble Hawk over at the forum?
I was going to say Bubble Hawk, man. Fucking hell. Look at it. It's monster. He grew beast.
Half a pound of one auto.
Wow.
Well,
that's
Nephilim
impressive.
giant. A Nephilim giant would be proud of smoking that. That's how big his plants were, yeah. Like
ridiculous. But they do have more control over veg time, and that's a good aspect. Like you can actually veg the plant out for 6-7 weeks and really fill out a grow space when you grow in photo periods. And then when you flower that, obviously you're going to yield a lot more than you would do with an auto. But for the same span of time, if you're looking at 70 days, which most autos are done between 70 and 80 days. So from germination to harvest, 70 to 80 days. You know, you
Yeah,
can push
if you-
some to 100 to get the best shit, but you're not doing that with a photo period plant. It's not happening.
I was just gonna say, like, if you do like the one plant massive scrog, like photo period, isn't it? Really over. Yeah, definitely for that
Yeah.
sort of thing.
And
the photo
cloning, of
period,
course,
win
keeping
hands,
mothers.
and cloning. Yeah,
That's just
yeah,
the photos.
cloning. Yeah, yeah, cloning. Yeah, but also imagine like how difficult it is to then sort of get consistency with photo seeds than it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's why I think Autoflowers win slightly because they are more consistent with their. But where I think photo periods, you probably generally get two types.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And Varkdog in the chat, you said, but you get to keep and regrow photos, which is a good point. Auto's one and done. If you find something you like, too bad, it's gone. But maybe that's part of the beauty of it, bro. Maybe that's part of the good shit where you're like, this is finite. I don't get to do this again. So you appreciate those strains a little bit more.
The Zen approach
Never
to
thought about
growing.
it that way.
Yeah. Gotta love that shit. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, autos are the shit, man, and you really need to try them. If you tried autos many years ago and you're like, oh no, this is crap, this is bullshit, fucking, you know,
definitely
try
go
again.
back, yeah.
Try again, because nowadays, if you pick the right breeder, you pick the right strain. If you get anything from Mephisto, it's gonna be better than most ordinary breeders, unless you're buying the top quality shit from the breeders. They're photo period strains, you know, photo period strains versus Mephisto Auto. I'd go for the Mephisto Auto. I would every time. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that Illumin Auto 21. That was my shit.
Random
back in the day.
photo period seed versus like Mephisto Auto. It's like, no, I know what I'm getting with the Mephisto Auto. It's definitely going to be some weed. Where the other thing just could be like any random like shit.
Yeah.
Some crappy pineapple strain that grows all brown.
And they're consistent as well. So though, yes, you can't, you know, keep hold of an auto. You can't clone it, but the seeds are real close. There's not too much phenotypic plasticity between the two. You know, they are real consistent, very alike. If you get a certain strain, it's going to grow a strain that's very alike.
Like I said,
the seed next to it, you know.
Some of the autos they had in the Grand Canary Club, what they would have a production. So each month, that strain would be grown and ready. If you know what I mean. So they'd stagger the grows. So every month they'd every day there'd be a new strain or two strains coming in every time. And it was the autos were always like very consistent with the weed you're buying from month to month. It's like really like very consistent. Like, you'd think, am I smoking like? Are you sure I'm smoking like a different plant here, mate? Like a different batch.
Well,
Like,
I remember having this one Autoflower, and it tasted like Coca-Cola. It was fucking delicious, and
nice.
it's like I only had that plant for a while, you know, and once it was gone, and I don't think I'd still remember that plant if I could have grown it 3 or 4 more times, got used to it, got bored of it, and moved on to something else. You know what I mean? It's just I still remember that plant specifically because it didn't get a chance to burn off. It, what is it? It's better to burn out than fade away. That one definitely burned out. It didn't get a chance to fade away, so that's why I still remember it. And it was a great strain. But you know, that's the way you should be looking at it, in my opinion. You know.
I've never,
good shit.
you know, I've not sampled a great deal of autos like you have, Macky and Billy, but I think if it's like Coke, between Coke and Pepsi, I think 95% of the population that smoke will not be able to tell if you just passed them a bag of weed, whether that was an auto.
I thought you was gonna
or
say
a photo.
Coke versus Pepsi. Then there's a big difference between Coke versus Pepsi, bro. Just saying. Just
For some,
saying.
but yeah,
One
I'm
you
just
need a
using it as an
straw,
analogy.
the other one you don't.
Fuck that shit. Coca-Cola all the way. Fuck Pepsi. Aspartame using fucking plastic film in the mouth, feeling motherfuckers. Just saying.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Most people can't tell the difference, and I think only connoisseurs of
No, I
cannabis
don't even think connoisseurs can.
would
I don't even think so.
Do you know?
Nah, I'm really scared. Nowadays, man, photos
This is what I'm saying
autos
now.
are so close. Like it would be just by chance. Like it would average out 50-50. Like people getting it correct.
And this is why I don't think there's a winner, because if you can't tell the difference and they all grow, you know, I think we're the winners because now there is something for everybody and everybody's way of growing, isn't there? Some people prefer photos, some people prefer autos. Now we've got that choice.
Yep.
Back in the day, it was like, no, I'm growing photos because the autos just shit. Now it's like,
That's right.
I've
Yeah.
got that choice, you know.
That's right.
And if you know, I imagine autos are good if you want to go on holiday because the environment and everything doesn't have to change. You can keep that stable for 2 weeks on a reservoir and maybe go on holiday, you'll be fine. Depending on, you know, where you're at with a plant. So, and
Operation Annihilation in chat says Michael J. Fox was selling the shit out of some Pepsi in the 80s. Yeah, look at him now. Huh?
Oh no. Oh god.
I bet he wish he could go back to the future.
Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? And Barkdog also said, I suppose I much prefer photos myself. Each their own. As long as you are growing, I'm smiling. And that's it. Just find out
There
what
you
works
go,
for
yeah.
you and roll with it. And as long as you're growing, it's good. Just fucking grow. In whatever medium you like, photos, autos, fems, regs, whatever.
Regs,
Just
yeah.
grow. Just fucking grow. Make your own
Do
weed.
it, man. Do it,
You won't
lady.
regret it.
Do it, lady.
Yeah.
But don't just turn your back on autos and think that they're shit because they used to be really shit. Try that shit again, man, and you won't regret it. But we have some
are
listener mail
advocates
questions.
of it all.
Yes, indeed. So we're ready for listener mail?
Yeah.
Yep.
Got some good ones here
Go for
today. Let's do it. We have Free Nugs here. Free Nugs. Shout out to Free Nugs there in the chat. Where do we begin? This is a long one. Free Nugs, we've discussed this, man. Sorry.
Slipping back into his old ways, isn't
No,
he,
I mean,
Macky?
hello,
Slipping
high and
back.
homegrown crew. Hope you all had a great week. How cold can plants get outside before they are permanently damaged? Can they tolerate freezing temperatures below 20 F? That's
What's 20 F?
Yeah, what's 20 F? What are you talking about?
To the rest of the world.
Yeah,
Fahrenheit.
that's right. Billy, we know.
No, we know
Billy.
that.
Jesus. Well, what does that mean in normal language?
Right. In Celsius
Yeah,
for
that's
everyone.
right. He's
else.
got to be. He's got to be talking about zero, isn't he? I'm asking because I really want to get my plants outside, but on the 20th it's supposed to go below freezing at night time for a night here and there. What are some ways I can help my plants if I do them outside? Thanks for everything you do for us. Much love, Freenox. Thanks, Freenox. We appreciate the question, bro. And you know, we only ever take the piss. We do appreciate
It's
you
minus
sending in questions.
6.6 Celsius.
Wow.
Oh, that's pretty cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically,
Zero's
Freenox.
It's
Too,
gonna make
right?
your nipples a bit erect. That is, isn't it?
Yeah.
As well as many other things. The thing is, Freenox, if there's going to be any frost, the plant can't handle it. I mean, the plant might be able to handle one frost, but any more than that, it's going to kill it. It's going to damage the tissue in the plant to the extent where the plant's going to die. No frost can be allowed. That's why you have to wait until after the last frost before you really plant anything outdoors. So if it's going to get that cold, don't put the plants outside, mate. No, just keep them indoors. Put them in a tent. Put a light over them. You know, don't let any frost get to them. And if they are outside and it's coming to the point where it is going to be that cold, but you can get a little greenhouse and put a greenhouse over it, a cover or something to keep the frost off them, because the frost will fuck with the plants so bad. Just if it's going to go anywhere near freezing, then don't put the plants outside. I mean, anything more than 6 degrees Celsius, not Fahrenheit, any more than 6 degrees plus positive, you know, then you might be okay from there. You shouldn't really get any frost from that. The plants won't be happy. The plants like to be at least above 12, 11, 12, you know, even happier at 18 plus. But for 26 is the best.
Cold.
Yeah, minus
Yeah.
6 is far too cold.
Or
You're
20
gonna freeze the
F
plant.
or whatever.
It'll die. Yeah. So you can't do that, mate. You can't put them out there yet. I mean, you do put them out in the daytime when it's nice, but in night times, bring them back in. You know, any kind of frost, snow, freezing of anything needs to be brought in. Don't let your plants sit out there and that shit. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, anything to add to that one? Margaret, you grow outdoors and you grow in Canada as well, so it gets extra cold. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I agree. I think you just gotta wait. I know he's probably super anxious to get them outdoors and get them growing, but yeah, if it's gonna be -6, I think you could kill them even.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. How long you been growing them for right now? A few weeks at least. So
Yeah.
you're going to put them out there for the sake of waiting like a couple of weeks. You're going to
Yeah.
destroy all the work you've already done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just be patient.
Yeah.
You'll probably not regret it.
Yeah.
It sucks, I
man.
know, but
Yeah.
I would wait
Oh
till
yeah,
May.
totally.
Yeah,
Even,
wait
even
until
in
end of
May,
May.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
at end of May, you get like 4 months of growing still. Beginning of May, you get 5, sort of. So
Yeah.
it's
And do
it's
autos,
worth it
mate.
wait,
This
isn't it?
is another
Well,
thing
that's
where
why you do
autos come in
autos.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm,
there
yeah.
you
Do
go.
the
As you
autos.
were saying earlier.
Then it's because you're going to get that early, compared to the rest of the world, it's going to get colder earlier for you guys as well. So you don't want to be waiting until the end of October before you're harvesting shit. So crack the autos instead. And you got what, the end of May, June, July, August. You can harvest it in September. And that's before any trouble starts kicking off.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. Try that, mate. Give that a shot. Good answer. Lobby Lobster. This is... Oh, man, I hate questions like this. Lobby Lobster.
I saw it
says,
too, and I thought the same thing.
Hello, hi on Homegrown. If you could invite 3 people, alive or dead, to a dinner party, who would it be and why? Oh, man, it's family members for me. I don't care about anybody fucking famous, anybody who's got anything to... I don't care about none of that shit. It's family members that I wish were still here. That's it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, friends and family.
Yeah.
There's people who are no longer here. People who you still leave the plate for at Christmas dinner, who are not there to eat.
You didn't finish the rest of the question, though.
But yeah, just wanted to get that one out of the way. Anybody else that because it is
I'd invite Def just to have a chat.
Right.
Because he's neither alive nor dead.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Allegedly.
just to find out,
Allegedly.
find out the goss. You got to know some gossip, mate, ain't you? One gives the truth.
Yeah. Was Chuck Norris easy to take? No.
Yeah.
Oh, Savon said.
How many rounds? How many rounds did it take to beat Chuck
Yeah.
Norris? And it's like probably like 10,000 rounds. It's like that's why he
Savon
lives
said,
so long.
I'd invite my past dogs. You know what I'm saying, Savons?
Yeah.
You just get the dogs back for a fucking snack. I'll get them a lamb bone each. You know what I'm saying? That would be fucking awesome. I'd rather have that than anybody who's, Genghis Khan or anything
Genghis
like that.
Khan,
Genghis.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Fight him back, he's going to eat your dog, isn't he? It's like,
You know what I mean?
Gandhi and his flip flop.
Racism.
yeah.
I mean, I don't care about none of that. I'd rather dogs, man. Dogs.
I'd invite my dogs back. I'd invite my dogs back and the 2-pack so he can just rap while I'm playing with my dogs.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
If I had to have someone famous there, it'd be 2-pack to entertain me while I, yeah. There you go. While I play with my dog.
Yeah. Thanks for making us face our own mortality there.
Yes.
Lobby Lobster. We appreciate that. Also, the food is cooked by Margaret and Smee. So are they getting fucked up too? What would influence that decision?
Yeah, I'd still go for the death.
It might.
Because it'd be more interesting.
I can't invite my dogs anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. As long as we're in the sauce, I'll be all right. I wouldn't want to get wasted. You know, you want to invite somebody to the fucking party. I like to have conversations with people and shit, not get wasted. I'm a kind of person that enjoys
Maybe
conversation,
some
so I
old,
wouldn't want to
old
be
Greek
wasted.
philosophers, maybe.
Maybe, but they'd be Greek. That'd be a problem for me.
Yeah, it'd be difficult. The conversation would be difficult because you don't really speak old Latin, Greek, like Greek
Yeah,
Latin.
you know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah, would be an issue.
Yeah, who
I'd
would
get
you
people
invite?
back if I was the chef, and then I'd get kind of people back that I'm not that keen on. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I would get them
yeah.
so
Come on,
fucked
yeah.
up they would think they were dying again.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
The end
So-
up
What
with
if it made them like
Dexter.
really chill though?
So my mother would be definitely on the top of the list.
Whoa,
Whoa,
let's not go
what's
there.
that? That's
Fuck,
going there, man.
you know.
Let's go,
Jesus,
deep, mate.
Yeah.
Let's move on before I join him. Let's go.
Anyway, thanks for the question there.
Cool
Lobby
question, mate.
Lobster.
Cool question.
We got one from P River Pothead. It said, "Hello all. I grew a Northern Lights auto and harvested it in November. This week I found a bud with a seed. I haven't found any other seeds yet. Does this mean my plant had hermaphroditic tendencies? I did not see any seed of any signs of seeds whilst growing. Will this seed grow a regular Northern Lights? I am confident it isn't just a stray seed floated around my room. I've only grown 4 plants, all autos in a tent, so this is still new to me. Still very new to me. Have a great Sunday, gang." But I think, and I'm not too sure how true it is, but there's this thing that I heard a while ago, a long time ago, where it's pretty much every plant is going to produce at least one seed. I don't know how true it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I was told. Anyway,
Right.
because because it needs to figure out a way to pass on its genetics for the next generation. That's kind of like its purpose, So it doesn't necessarily mean it had hermaphroditic tendencies. It just to produce a seed to try and pass on its genetics. Apparently, I mean, allegedly.
Yeah, I don't know
all
if like one
cannabis plants
seed
do that.
anything to really worry about.
No, one seed's cool. Man,
Yeah.
I've had whole crops was just full of seed. It was so bad, like actual. I mean, and it
Yeah.
was still good weed. But you had to make sure it was good weed. You had to pick out every single fucking seed, because if you just left one seed in that joint, ruin the whole fucking thing. So yeah, one seed isn't bad, mate. Your plant didn't hermit. If it hermited, you would have known. It's just one seed. It happens sometimes. It's a genetic trait.
Yeah. Maybe it's gone a little bit longer than it should have done, and it's like it does what it does. It tries to pollinate itself when it's going too long on it.
Yeah.
So,
So that's the way it goes.
so yeah, I won't worry.
That's what I heard. I don't know how true it is. Sometimes you just hear things and it sticks to you. I don't know how true it is, but it kind of makes sense.
Well, most people would bust a seed if they're going too long, though, wouldn't they? Really?
Yes, Billy. Probably.
Smoke smoothly.
Is a nut a seed? Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus. Anyway, let's move on quickly. We've got fruit bats, and this is an interesting question here that's going to take up some of our thought processes here. This is a good question, fruit
Well,
bat.
we have to think. Shit.
Yeah,
quick.
yeah. Weird question, really. I hope it's not too inappropriate or too deep. That's what she said. Sorry. And no, it's definitely not inappropriate. This is an important question. How do you guys in the UK cope with the fact that growing is illegal, especially when it comes to family life? Keeping it secret is starting to stress me out far more than anything actually growing related. What affects me most is feeling like I'm lying to my family, especially my children. I've got 2 children under 5, so for now, it's still fairly easy to keep things hidden from them, but sooner or later, they're going to start asking questions about what's going on in the shed. We grow random fruits and vegetables during the grow season outdoors, so at least I'm getting the share of my green fun with them in that way. Macky, I know you have kids. How have you handled that side of things? It's difficult, man. It's difficult because it is shit having to lie like that. And it's even worse for me because I'm not just a grower. I also run a cannabis forum, have a cannabis podcast. I can't tell anybody about any of this shit. It has to all stay under the radar. And I spend a lot of time doing it. So I'm obviously doing something, but I can't tell them what I'm doing. My kids are all teenagers now, pretty much. So it's even more difficult to hide it. So I'm pretty grateful I'm not growing right now, because that would be hard to explain to them. What the fuck is that massive thing in your room? What does light come out of it? What's that smell? Why do you disappear for 16 hours with a pair of scissors and trim plants? And there's loads of questions, and you just have to fucking lie. It's shit, and I can completely understand what you mean by it stresses you out more than the actual growing related thing, because you don't want to be that guy who lies to your kids, because it's shit to lie to your kids. You have to be honest and truthful with them as much as possible. But man, I don't know what the right answer is to this. It's just you have to keep it hidden from them. Because if they go to school and say the wrong thing, it's good. You lying to them is not going to be anywhere near as detrimental to them as if you get the social services knocking at your door because they told the teacher about you growing cannabis, and then they come take your fucking kids from you. You know what I mean? Because that can happen, or you're going to lose your house, or you're going to be arrested. You're thrown in prison for a year or 2. You know what I mean? That's going to be far more detrimental to your kids than you having to lie like that. So I don't know, man. You just have to try and figure out what's going to work best for you in this kind of situation. It's, maybe you don't have to lie to them to some extent, or maybe you can tell them about it, but make sure that they know that it has to be kept secret. But that's hard for kids to do. Then it's a burden for them to try and keep that quiet. It's a tough one. Yeah.
There's a trade-off when it comes to this one. My son was in primary school. They had a fishing expedition where they wanted to know what. They had a class where they asked the kids, "Well, so what do you know about drugs, children? And what drugs do you know, children?" And I was obviously growing and having like cannabis about. But what I did was the weed that I smoked, I never hid that from him. It was always about He always knew what the smell was like. He always knew that. And as he grew up, it became like the kids in Amsterdam. It's not taboo anymore. So, and as they get to an age where you think that they might start to be able to say something about it, you can talk to them about it because you can say, look, okay. And I had to do this when we got this letter from the school saying they was going to talk about this in a topic at the school. So I had to sit my son down next to me and tell him that cannabis is illegal and X, Y, and Z. But he was that blasé to it because it was no big deal to him. He just went, what are they on about, Dad? That's ridiculous. So I said, but some people just don't get it, son. So what you got to kind of do is you got to just say nothing. So anything that happens in this house, we don't tell other people about it. We let other people talk about their experience and we just sit and listen. And sure enough, the next day he said, Dad, I didn't need to worry because the first question they asked, one of the kids had been playing Grand Theft Auto, so he knew all the drugs. And that was it. Backfired on him. So yeah, it's a fine line to walk, but there are certain things you do. You can hide your growing, but just don't hide the fact that cannabis is a thing. Let them
But
see it still.
for me, most of my kids went to school as well, my youngest was homeschooled. So for him, it was never hidden. None of it was hidden. It's a completely ordinary thing. You don't have to worry about him saying fucking something to a teacher or you know, some authority figure at school who think that they know best for your kids when they know fuck all. But we won't go on that tangent. But yeah, so one of my kids it's absolutely just a normal fucking thing for him. It's not even considered illegal. He knows it's illegal, but you know, as you say, just because it's illegal doesn't mean that it's wrong, you know?
Yeah.
Just means
My
it's
son's the
against law.
same, mate. He knows everything about me growing now because he's like 19. So, sorry, just turned 20. So he knows all that side now as well because as he got older, you know, I had to tell him. But yeah, he knew all about the smoking and all that stuff, and it was not a big thing to him. And guess what? He doesn't smoke, he doesn't drink because he's seen me and my mates smoking and drinking for all his life, and it's not a big thing to him. He's like, why would I want to get wrecks like you lot?
Yeah. Aussie
Like
Jim
I
in the
want to.
chat, he said, Macky, what about my kids that are adults but I still live in prohibition land? I think that's on an individual basis, mate. You would know your
Yeah.
kids better when they're adults like that, and you would know if you can tell them or not and have that discussion with them. But
Yeah.
it's always best to err on the side of caution, and it's prohibition land. So it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
best follow the free rules, man, and that applies to everybody. You know, don't tell anybody
Yeah.
because
And
they
no
can
offense to
let somebody
people.
else know, and it'll fuck you over. Sorry, it's me.
Yeah, it's just no offense to people. I don't want to sound rude or anything, but teenage kids can be stroppy little idiots sometimes that aren't thinking. And when they lash out, they might just say the wrong thing to the wrong person and not only destroy, you know, the home dynamic, but they will regret that for the rest of their lives. And you don't want that for your kids, you know. Luckily for me, I didn't have a great relationship with my parents, so I made sure I had a great relationship with my son. So now I feel I can tell him anything. And he's never said a word to any of his friends. None of his friends know a damn thing, but a few of them smoke weed. I know all about them. But yeah, they don't know a thing about us. They don't,
That's
you
right.
know.
So it's a tough one, man. It's a tough
It
one,
is.
and I just hope you make the best decision. And of course, you can ask over on the
Good
forum
luck.
anytime you have anybody has any questions like this or needs some advice with something like this. Come and ask over on the forum, and there's going to be people who are going to be able to try and point you in the right direction. But ultimately, only you know what the right direction here is. You know your children better than anybody else, so you know what's best for your kids. You know what the
Yeah.
best thing is for your family. So just try and head in the right direction and make the best decision you can at the time. That's all you can really do. But anything to add to this one, Margaret?
Not really. I mean, I do have the benefit of living in a legal place. Although I guess when my kids were teenagers, it wasn't legal at that time, and they knew about it. And I talked to them and kind of treated them as like the mini adults that they were, and let them know that, you know, if they did talk about it too broadly to the wrong people, that I could get in a lot of shit, and that would not be good.
Mm.
So, yeah, yeah.
Madness,
But I
man.
think keeping it a secret's probably like once they get to a certain age is probably also not wise.
Mm.
Anything to add, Billy?
Yeah, he said they're only 5, didn't he? So he could just call it like maybe his seed plant for now, and he just makes seeds with it, and they'd be happy with that. It's part of the fruit and vegetables, but like the others say, you're gonna have to be open and honest, I think, with them really on the long term. with them, just so they understand what it is, because they're going to be inquisitive. So, and that's my thought on almost everything with the children. As soon as you start lying to them about one thing, they're going to start questioning everything you say.
Yeah.
So if you're open and honest with them, then they start listening to you and explain why is the reason.
Mhm.
Yeah. So you can't just say, oh, this is. You have to have like a 5-hour or 5-week conversation with them about it every day for hours on end to really make them understand what it is. So when you are prepared to have that sort of type length and in-depth conversation with your children about it, is when they're old enough to then understand what you're doing. So, but you have to do it quite soon, to be honest.
Yeah.
You've got 3-4 years until they're going to start really asking questions. So
It's just ridiculous that we
a
even
lot
have
could
to have
change
these
it.
discussions in the
Yeah,
first
it's
place.
situational, and where you live, you may have the luck of the law changing. So that's a pray. That's or if you can move to somewhere where you can.
And medical, obviously now.
Yeah,
that helps.
and medical.
You know, it
as
was
well,
never
so that
medical when
helps.
I was doing it. So I
Mhm.
just made
So
sure it
just-
wasn't taboo and it wasn't a big thing because it
If
wasn't
you
a
live
big deal.
illegally,
We
just
didn't.
if once you explain, it's just to explain to them the whole legal aspect, and your children will understand. Children are not stupid if you explain to them in an adult manner and show them. Like there's pictures online now and of videos and things you could explain. Yeah, graphs. Sitting down and have a educational class with them, teach your child. Yeah, like a teacher. Yeah, and then that way you might get through to them.
And they'll have more respect for you as well because you didn't bullshit them. You treated them like a grown up.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And if they've
That's
seen,
the main
like,
thing.
my son watched me for years beyond this, you know, devil's lettuce. So when he finally found out it was illegal, he was like, "What? That stuff you smoke? Because you know, why is that? Why is that illegal?" So he was already on my side once I told him. Once he had to be told, obviously. So, by making it, you know, giving him the knowledge and, like Billy said, making it non-taboo and giving them the knowledge when they're ready for it is probably the best way to go. But as Macky said, everyone's different, each individual case. So you know best for your kids, mate. Yeah. You know best for your kids.
Yeah. Good luck. And as I said, we shouldn't even be in this position where we have to have this discussion in the first place. It should be fucking legalized. We shouldn't have to hide it from our children. Right. But we're forced into this position, you know, and it's absolutely shocking. But good luck, man. That's all the questions that we have. Are we ready to go to the outro?
Yeah, Dave. And wrote a question there.
Oh, Dave. Oh, Dave or Anne, or Dave and Anne.
Both.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh god. Okay. Let's go.
A few points actually. Ain't that bad. Like, Dave. First of all, he says like they say that plastic bags can last for up to 1,000 years. Like, but he said if that's true, how comes there's no bags from bloody Middle Ages?
It's a good question.
Isn't it? That's what I thought. I was thinking, yeah, that's a good point. That is a really good point. Hey, come on, think about it slowly. Also, Dave reckons like if you put your phone on airplane mode, would it be safer to then drop it?
Try it. Try it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
You might lose it for life, though. It might just go and
it might just fly off.
It's gone.
His other question was he was unsure. He goes, "Is a homeopath a gay ex-murderer?"
Brilliant.
Yeah.
It should
Jeffrey
be.
Dahmer.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah. There you go. Maybe it's true. Like, and also wrote as well. Like she's having a snack and she's having a finger of fudge, and she's in the advert. It said used to be a finger of fudge is just enough to give a girl a treat. But she said she prefers a 4-fingered Kit Kat or a large Toblerone personally. She said also she heard a rumor about Macky. He likes a Snickers bar, but he eats it upside down because it feels all veiny and nutty on his tongue. So cheers, Anne.
How did she know that? Fuck.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, so I was thinking, like, she's got some insider information there. Who's been telling her that?
Jesus. Well, is
Some
that all of your
insider
toilet
trading
humor there, Billy? Did you have a fact of the week?
Oh yes, the fact of the week. Well done for pointing that one out too. This one actually, like, because I like the Earth theory. Obviously we live on a planet that's got a surface of 71% water. But obviously that's been around since like the water was on the planet. So it's literally been here billions of fucking years on a recycle process. Rain into the ground, up into the sky, through the plants, dying again. Yeah. So literally we've got the water we're having now, showering, drink, everything with is like billions of years old.
Yeah, it's dinosaur piss.
Yes, exactly. So we all shower in dinosaur piss. It's brilliant, isn't it?
Mm.
Think about it. It's like, wow. I do like that fact. It's just things like that we forget, and we need to be reminded of again. That the fact that, like again, this planet's 3.4 billion years old, or whatever it is. What is it? 3.2 billion years of continuous life on this planet, or something?
No,
like
only
that?
500 million.
Only 500 million, I reckon.
Mm.
That's still long enough, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's like,
Yeah, that's a minute.
yeah. Oh well, that's how small and minute we are. So smoke some weed and don't worry about it.
Man. Good times. So there we go, everybody. That's everything. I think we're ready for the outro. I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Do it, lady.
Fading out freshly. There we go. Jesus. Yeah, thanks for joining us, everybody. Hit the like button, subscribe, and all that. Share the stream if you want to. Blah blah blah. But, happy 420 to all those listening on 420 for tomorrow. All that shit.
Yeah.
Yay. Smoke.
Good episode. There's not really much to add here, other than make sure you sign up to Percy's so you can get involved in the comps tomorrow. Right?
Oh, hell yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Get in there.
Yeah.
Get
Go,
it.
ladies.
We didn't go on a random food tangent. You must have eaten well today.
It did come up a bit. Like, I'm pretty hungry.
What are you going to eat, Margaret? You going to have something nice?
I don't know yet. Have to figure it out.
Just not mushrooms.
Oh, there might be mushrooms.
I had mushrooms this week. I had a bacon buffet is what we called it. We have these places called Toby Carvery, where you go there and it's got like
we didn't go to a Toby Carvery, mate.
Yeah, but go to the breakfast buffet one, not the meat bit. Go to so you have all the bacon you want, all the sausage you want, or all the egg. Just pile what you want.
Love sausage.
I had a few mushrooms on that, and at those,
and wasn't bad, huh?
I kind of regretted it, really, but there
You
was
regretted it.
Of course you regretted it, because the filthy today.
Come on.
Of all places to try mushrooms, you chose a Toby Carvery. Bloody hell.
No, and I've tried all the other types of mushrooms. Like
Mental.
I've tried oyster mushrooms. Tried the what's that other one? I don't know. I've been trying all the different kinds of mushrooms, and none of them are any good. Yeah.
I had some mushrooms yesterday.
I agree. They are all filth, apart from the ones that have magic stuff in them.
Well, even they are filth, but there's a good side effect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
To eat filth.
It's like people eat mushrooms so they don't get hungry. There's better things to eat to not get hungry. But only magic mushrooms will get you high like magic mushrooms. So you have to kind of eat them.
And if you lemon tech it, you don't need to really eat them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
Anyway, let's go and eat some food, everybody.
Yeah.
So have a good week.
Yeah.
Stay high, stay safe, and all of that kind of shit. And enjoy your 420. Be safe out there if you're out there in West Korea and you're going to any events. Be safe. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.